Okay, the channel is live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Adventure on So Many Levels. We're going to play some Dungeons and Dragons.
Woo!
Yay!
I'm Christiana Ellis, and I am the Dungeon Master. Our players tonight, from bottom to top, as you see on your screen, David Archambault as Dianok.
Stone books and people who just want to dance their lives away. This is a weird place.
Nobilis as Kanthan.
Hi there.
Jason Banks as Exel.
I think they want us to feel the rhythm.
Lee Burdett as Flounce.
Yeah, I'm not feeling it.
And Paul Weimer as Xenophon.
In this Githari Bard swim or squeak and rhyme beneath the sea, stay tuned, listeners, and we will definitely see.
So, when last we left the Order of the Golden Prawn, they had finished their their adventure with the divine confrontation with the angelic lieutenant of a theocracy, and they rescued the individuals who were unjustly imprisoned, but that made them some enemies in the local government. So you chose to, instead of risking a dangerous observed transit point through the Concord Gems as you normally would, you traveled overland to the land of Janai. To the land of Janai. And you were planning to catch the local Concord Gem from here back to the Radiant Citadel. However, while here, you got yourself involved into another fine mess. So, while staying overnight at a local inn, you encountered overnight some what the locals refer to as haints, which are ghostly figures created from the sad and violent deaths of people who were kidnapped during long ago raids. And they told you that their ship had gone down carrying some ancient tomes filled with important knowledge now lost to everyone else. And furthermore, that those books were now under threat. They had been found by someone who shouldn't have them. Now, though, you find yourself in a little bit of a tricky situation because the leadership of Janai has specifically tasked you with retrieving these books and bringing them back to him, and you will be well paid for that. He's even given you magical items which will allow you to swim down beneath the sea where this shipwreck will be. But upon accepting this job and leaving, you encountered another group that also wants you to bring the books to them instead. They also offered to pay you, but you have essentially been asked to choose between the current leadership, which hopes to use these ancient books as a way to restore ancient powers and abilities that these people used to have years ago, whereas this other group seems much more focused on the future and wanting to develop new traditions, but they also seem a little flighty and interested in things like dancing and debates more than actual governing. So it's a question. But you had discussed somewhat amongst yourselves that perhaps a compromise might be arranged. Could it be that, one book of the two goes to each party? Well, in any case, you have accepted the job from the Adipapa. Let me pull the actual. You spoke with Atibapa, who is the regent of the stewards, which is the formal government, the people's stewards. You also spoke with the night revelers, who are led by Geneva. You declined officially to work for Geneva, but you seemed to have some complicated feelings there. But in any case, what your current plan is you are going to the docks where you're going to catch a ship that will take you to a region of the Nightsea where Janai's sister city, Genya, exists beneath the waves, populated by people who once lived in Janai but adapted to live entirely underwater following these historic raids. And they are the ones that you must ask where this shipwreck can be found. So, a lot of complicated ground to cover there, but that's basically where we're at. Does anyone have any other questions about what happened before, or shall we go ahead and resume?
I'm ready to proceed.
I have our in characters, so.
Okay. So, as the next morning comes when you're planned to catch your ship, beneath the pink dawn sky, a swift-looking double-masted vessel floats in the aquamarine water. Two wiry figures wearing green-blue armor and matching silk cloaks stand on the deck. One looks dour, the other cheerful. And you see that the...
What will your partner say if I ask you, how's your day been?
What, you think this is some kind of riddle? In any case, and the other one says, "Oh, I love that one." So, in any case, this is the vessel is of a type that is very similar to many others you see at the docks or in the harbor nearby. You've been told it's called a Bedin Safar. And the figures on board, you've been told the ship is going to be, crewed by the Lightsea Lancers, who are skilled local scouts and sailors. And as you approach, the cheerful-looking one steps forward and says, "Welcome. I imagine that you are the Order of the Golden Prawn. I am Gurao."
Goral, we are pleased to meet you. I am Xenophon, and these are my fellow members of the order. We are most pleased to board your vessel this morning.
Excellent. I've been briefed on your mission, and I am excited to be a part of it. I will not be accompanying you below the water, but I can get you to where you need to be to reach Janya. So, if you'll go ahead and come aboard, my companion here is Kisaura. And she is leaning against the mast with arms folded and just kind of gives you,
Okay.
And he says, "Yeah, don't mind her. That's fine. Don't worry about it."
Is that a grumpy or a suspicious
It is I'm in a bad mood and everything I see just makes it worse.
Okay.
Sounds like a hangover.
Or she's had an unhappy love affair report, and now she feels like nobody else should be having either.
He's like, "So, we're gonna need to do a little bit of prep, obviously, to get the ship underway. But you can all just kind of settle in. It's just going to be a couple hours voyage once we get going. So you can just hang out, set your stuff down, and we'll be on our way shortly."
Thank you.
And so he and Gurao and Kisara both start, doing all of the things, getting ready to take the ship. And you get the impression that this ship might normally be crewed by more than two people. It's not a huge ship. It's a small ship. It's not like a great big cargo galleon or something like that. But nonetheless, Gurao and Kisara are having to do quite a lot of stuff to get the ship ready. So they're hard at work doing that. What do the rest of you do?
I would offer to help, except I honestly do not know the first thing about how to operate a ship like this.
Yeah, this is new. I mean, we were on the raft in that one world, but otherwise I've not had any experience on the water like this. This is all like, oh, so this is what sailing is. Oh,
Yeah, because we use the crystals, and they're manned by a team of people, but not like this. Like this is
No.
this is
Yeah,
visible coordination and interest.
I think we should use the experience gained on the raft where we stay out of the way and
right.
let them get on with being awesome.
Yeah, that's probably the smartest move.
Right.
To
So,
do,
I mean, the
clowns.
work that they're doing involves a lot of pulling ropes, etc. And, you know, climbing up to the mast to untie where the sails have been secured and that sort of thing. So, I mean, it is the sort of thing where, you know, you might be wary of doing something wrong, but like some of the stuff seems like the activity itself is relatively simple.
Yeah.
So, but certainly they do not act as though they are expecting you to help. So,
Okay. I think DNR could just kind of sit out of the way and just watch and keep an eye out for anything unusual. Yeah. Maybe any signs of the revelers.
no, you don't see like there's you know some looky-loos on the docks, but not like a large number of them. Just people of like, huh, what's that ship doing? Just, you know, they, but not. It's not like there's a crowd or anything.
Yeah.
There's no 7 feet tall people dressed entirely in rags and scarves and stuff.
Yeah.
All right. So, after about 20 minutes of vigorous activity, Kisara and Gurao both have prepared the ship to get underway, and you start sailing off onto, onto the Nightsea. And the waters are calm and relatively shallow here. For the first little bit, you can see the bottom, and there's a lot of coral, and you can occasionally see fish or dolphins swimming around. So once they're underway, does anyone try to, like, obviously they're sailing the ship, but they're not quite so frenetically busy as they were when prep. So does anyone talk to them or anything like that?
DNR would. They try and they go to the more cheerful one and say, so, how much do you know about the shipwrecks that are around here?
Well, obviously, we do our best to avoid being one. That's for sure. I can't really tell you what's the actual current state of any particular shipwreck down there, but you hear stories about how some of them went down. Obviously, the more superstitious among the sailors tend to make all of these things into elaborate legends and that sort of thing. But it's certainly true that the Nightsea, is calm enough. It's not like one of the more dangerous places to sail around here, but there's been a lot of history in this place, and so there were times when there was a lot of conflict in this area, and that tended to make a lot of shipwrecks. But I'm not going to make a point about it, but it is the sort of thing that like some sailors get kind of superstitious talking about on a ship. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. And ever been down to Janai?
Jenya, you mean?
Jenya.
Yeah.
Ever been down to Jenya?
No, I haven't. Although I have certainly spoken to some of the Chileran that that live down there. It's always a little bit tricky because I can't breathe water and they can't breathe air, so tends to be a little bit you have your conversations in short bursts. But I mean, aside from a few extra fins and living down there where you can't cook over an open fire, they're people,
Okay.
How frequent are visitors like us to the city under the sea?
Oh, I mean, people come. It is certainly. I know that they've got, they've got a lot of history down there, and they've got sites, and they've got a whole Bard College down there. Although they don't get a lot of students come from that far away, and certainly even travelers. We get a lot more coming to Janai than down to Janya because, of course, the obvious complications of it being underwater, so that just makes it difficult. But certainly people who can figure that out, or get magical assistance like you have, it works out. There's people come and go. But yeah, I'd say it's less common than you might think, but it's not unheard of.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like they're gonna go around staring at your lack of gills or anything.
And what about the reverse? How often do they come up here and breathe?
Well, I mean, it's kind of the same issue, right? Like
Right.
they have, anyone who's going to come up here is going to need some kind of a magical assistance to do so, and so sometimes that happens, but we don't see a lot of average folk because those people are less likely to have that magical ability, or for that matter, the need. But
Sure.
what we see a lot is trading in the shallows.
I imagine trading with them is one heck of a trick if you don't have magical or some
Well,
other.
I mean, like the thing is, if all we're doing is trading, like we can duck our heads under the water for a little bit, and they can, stick their heads up above the surface for a little bit.
Yeah, but still, it's like making yourself understood when you're used to talking with air instead of water has to be
You can usually make yourself understood.
okay.
But it's like it's certainly like there's a trick to it, like but it's like it's kind of just ordinary around here, like that's the way it is around here.
Okay.
Hmm?
Is it? I know there's other creatures that other people that live underwater, do like marrow and merfolk.
Hmm.
If there's any talk, any inclusion of them in this in Jedi?
I mean, there's
Or
not
Jan-
Janya. There's not. I mean, not really living in the city, but I mean, it's kind of like there could be kobolds or gnolls or lizard folk or like there's any sort of land dwelling races that you might as well ask the same thing about whether they're in Janai.
Okay.
It's like you see them sometimes, but not usually. So I mean, I think the biggest difference, in terms of like what we usually talk about, is just like, up here, up in Janai, on the surface, we have the people stewards, and it's kind of like, we elect, whenever enough people call for new elections, we change out, leadership here, and it's a whole thing where it's kind of, anybody can kind of become a people steward, whereas down in Genya, they've got the high court, which is kind of, it's like the richest people are kind of in charge, and it's not like that necessarily makes them have bad decisions, but I don't know, it's a little snooty for my taste.
Huh. I wonder if there will be any.
I tell you though, some of the I've not been down there, but I've seen pictures that people have made, drawings and paintings and so on of the council chamber that they've got down there, and then of course they've got the Cerulean Lyceum, which is the Bard College I mentioned, has vaulted halls, and I don't know, it sounds beautiful. I mean, I'm a little jealous, even though it's not so jealous that I'm going to put any effort into trying to work at it myself. It's kind of like, seems like, yeah, that would be interesting if I didn't have other stuff to do.
Yeah, I imagine if if someone were to, let you borrow an item like this for a day, you probably go and do some sightseeing, but yeah.
I mean, it's the thing is, it's a lot of trouble. I can't breathe underwater. I would have to find a way to do that.
You got to make a special effort to get there.
Whereas there are other places I could go where that's not a problem. But in any case, so he's chatting with Dianok there. In the meantime, Kisaru is just kind of continuing to act as though this whole journey is a personal affront, and she would really rather be doing anything else.
Eventually, I was hanging around with Enoch and throwing things in, but eventually I'm going to go. I'm going to see if I can talk to the Grump.
Okay.
See if Kasara sees. So I'll put on my best charm, which is not quite which is a different sort than our cook, who's much more effusive. I'm much more. I let my bardic skills do the talking, and I will compose a brief metered thing describing her as against the sunlight, and see how she reacts to that.
I think that you get about half a line out, and she just kind of rolls her eyes. It's just
No, very well. I will.
You know, I do have other stuff to do.
I will leave you to your work then. I do not go where I'm not wanted, and I will withdraw.
So in any case, what's everyone else getting up to? It's about a 2-hour journey.
2 hours.
Well, it's at least not a 3-hour tour.
Yeah.
I have to imagine in writing this adventure that they had to choose whether to lean in or towards or away from that.
I would have leaned in, but I'm not a giant game writer, so
I'm gonna play with my spandy new hat of disguise and try on different outfits.
Yeah,
that's fun.
Nice. Are you disguising yourself other than the clothes, or just?
No, well, I'm starting off with clothes.
Okay.
Just seeing how and let's see, and it kind of look around, and I look at what Xenophon's wearing, and I look at what Exel's wearing, and I was like, damn, none of us have any fashion sense, do we?
I'm a Gitsurai from the plane of limbo. Give me a break.
And to be fair, I am a giant fairy rabbit with weird delusions of undead grandeur.
Yeah. So as nobody I can say, oh, how does this look? And really be able to trust what they say.
You should ask the second mate. Yeah, you should ask the first mate.
No.
Oh, they're busy. They're busy running the ship, so yeah, and I don't even really have a mirror to look at, so this is but yeah.
If you want to go into fashion instead of
cooking,
I don't think we're the people to help you out with that.
No.
Yeah.
So what about Axel and Flounce?
Axel's going to spend his time meditating while floating on his magic carpet that he still has.
Uh-huh.
Does the ship have a crow's nest?
I think so. Although, like I said, it's not a huge ship, so it's not like it's not like as high as on some big ship, but it does have at the top of the mast it's not like a full crow's nest. It's more like there's a little platform that you can kind of like stand on while you hold the mast.
Yeah, I'm looking up there, and then I'm looking at my deck score. And I look at my deck score, and I'm like, I think I'm going to stand at the prow.
Okay.
And very, very specifically, not reenact Titanic. Just enjoy the wind in my fur.
Right.
The splash.
Well, so as the ship is making its journey, you eventually cross over the edge of the continental shelf. So at that point, the relatively shallow water starts turning much darker, and you can no longer see the bottom as it gets much, much deeper rather suddenly. And then a little ways longer, you see up ahead, Flounce, see it first standing at the prow, that there is a large area where the water is even calmer than the calm seas around it, to the point where it almost looks glassy, glassy and still. And the those of you not standing there had noticed that Kisara was making a lot of careful compass and sun reckonings, navigating as you made your way to there. But you eventually arrive, and the ship, they pull the sails and prepare to kind of stop there, and they lower a sea anchor. And so Gura, as you're coming to a stop near this area of glassy sea, Gura says, all right, so this is what we call the gateway to Janya. It's basically the way that you're gonna get down there. So you've got your setup already, so your magic thing, your necklaces, right? So the descent is about 4,500 feet. Probably with the speed that you're going to be able to swim, I mean, that's going to be like 4 or 5 minutes if you're just heading right down. If you were trying to swim down there normal, like you'd probably it'd be more like 15 minutes. But those necklaces are pretty fast, I think.
Yeah.
How dark does it get down there?
Oh, very dark. Like it's dark. So like I hope you have that figured out. And then Kusara actually just tosses at you, like she's got this little sort of netting pouch that has 3 sort of glassy, like globe-like things, and she, like, without even warning you or expecting you to catch it or anything, she just kind of tosses it in your direction, and she just says, "Use those."
Catch one. I'll catch them.
Yeah.
Hand them out.
So it's 3 drift globes, which are designed to you activate them, and they kind of follow you around. Perfect. And give off. Let's see, what's the you can choose to have it give off the light or daylight spell, but the daylight spell can only be used once per day. And so that it's designed to give you light if you need it.
How many did she get?
There's 3 of them.
Okay, I don't need one. So
I need one, so I'm going to take it.
All right. And Guro just says, "Thanks, Kisara." So we've gone ahead and given word to someone named here, let me look through at the Zoshi Ude. Is a friend of ours down there. So they're going to meet you as you approach the city.
Okay.
And they can help you get where you need to go. I mean, they're not going to know where the shipwreck or whatever is. So they can help you find someone who might.
Cool.
Thank you.
They're an emissary of the High Court, and so he'll probably take you there, is my guess.
Thank you all for your help, and as a little token of my appreciation, here is a vial of my special Radiant Journey sauce. Here you go.
Who are you directing that to?
I'm going to give it to the happy one because I don't want to get slapped out of my hand and
grub.
So he accepts it gratefully, and then Kusara suddenly is out of patience and starts just like, "All right, over you go," and she's literally pushing people overboard.
I'll dive.
Yeah.
Deanna tries to dive and winds up doing more of a tumble.
I am not elegant.
Cannonball! We don't even know what cannonballs are.
Yes.
Sure we do.
Catapult stone!
As Axel goes in, you hear, "I don't think this will be good for my fur."
All right. So recall that your necklaces require you to activate them with a bonus action.
Yep.
But once you do, you are able to breathe underwater, and you are able to move quite quickly through the water, as though it presented no obstacle to you at all, and you are able to move, frankly, even much faster than you could running around on land. Yeah. So, who, as you know, at least as you're at the surface right now, you don't really need the drift globes, but I assume you begin to descend.
And I'll activate my drift globe anyways because I'd rather have it than not. So.
Right. Let's see. Yeah, and it looks like it doesn't have any kind of a speed restriction, so it just follows you.
Right.
It follows you to, and what it does is it will follow you until it is within 60 feet, and if you move further than 60 feet, it follows until it is within 60 feet again. And so that means, I'm just double checking the light cantrip.
Light needs to be closer.
Yeah.
But
No, okay.
So see, that's that is actually a slightly strange write up.
I think the idea is that that you can carry it with you.
Oh, right, yeah.
And use it as a light source, or you can set it in a place and light that area.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think the idea is that you need to hold it if you don't want it to be left too far behind.
Yeah. So,
well, DNR is not doesn't need it per se. They're definitely going to stay close because they want everybody else to be able to see them.
So, as you are initially descending, there are schools of silvery fish swimming around you down through the first few hundred feet. Light begins to thin as the water changes from vibrant blue-green to a deeper blue. And once you have gone about 500 feet down, only dim light illuminates your surroundings. And as you continue down further and further and further, all light from the surface begins to fade into nothing, and you are in complete darkness by the time you are about 3,000 feet down.
3,000 feet. Wow.
He told you he told you the city is 4,500 feet down.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, we passed the continental shelf.
Yeah.
And while Xenophon doesn't know what that means necessarily, I do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
that's deep.
Yeah.
There's a couple times when there's a particularly interesting fish that DNR kind of wanders after before realizing, oh, okay.
No, go. Stay with the group. Let's not become fish food, DNR.
Yeah. So, as you have been making your way down, and recall that the speed you're moving, this has only been a few minutes.
Yeah.
Right. Like this has not been a long trip. But you've been moving quickly unless you chose not to. But as you have descended to this point where it's complete darkness, I think we've established that Canthan has the highest passive perception. Do we want to just double check that as people have leveled up?
17,
Oh, no.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, mine's a 16.
Yeah,
Okay.
same.
Yeah, mine's
16.
a 13. No, so no.
It's a high perception crowd generally. But in any case, so Canthan, it would be you that notices this first. But shortly followed by several of your companions. The water begins to churn around you. And then gradually from the darkness below glides a glowing, translucent longship, its oars bringing it just below you. A cloudiness covers the deck, swirling into forms vaguely resembling people. On the foredeck, a figure resolves from the cloudiness, a transparent, rough-looking sailor in crusty scale mail whose eyes blaze.
Does it look anything like the one we faced at the in the hotel?
The hotel?
I mean,
They're
how
sailors.
good do you think you are at distinguishing one wraith from another?
It's the same general type, just not a
Yes. Although it's like none of these have particularly sharp profiles or distinct features.
Okay. Huh.
But the ship is approaching.
Okay, well, I'm going to pull out Spirit Cleaver and I don't know, stick the we're like out in the middle of the water. If I try to make the drift globe stop, it's just gonna drift to the bottom of the ocean. So yeah, I'm gonna shove it in my pouch
All right.
because I need both hands.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and put us on this map.
Uh-huh. I see a map. It's
Oh boy.
Yeah.
that is a creepy looking ship.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is this a map from the adventure, or?
No, this is
This is the one. This is the one she
This is
made.
the one she made herself.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well done.
Thanks. It is a combination of a background and then a ship token. But as the ship draws nearer, the eagle-eyed among you note that along the prow is printed Gierskamen. Also, by the time it's that close, you can see that they are headed right for you, and we're going to roll initiative.
Dun, dun, dun.
Wow.
Ah,
That is a terrible initiative. The bard is distracted by something. I don't know what.
It's the poisonous green ship.
The bard is considering all the tales that they've heard of sea. Of stuff.
Yeah. I've got my mind running a mile a minute. It's like, what? Oh,
All right. So we've got ties with Canthan and Xenophon, although I think Canthan's probably a higher dex there.
yeah. Cathan's got a higher dex than I do.
Yeah.
Do that.
Well,
How about
12.
Dianok? What is yours?
16.
16. I think that's going to be higher than the Wraith, so let's put you... Oops. Okay. Flounce, you are first up.
Hey. They are coming straight for us.
Yes. Also, don't forget, though, that you have a 60-foot movement speed at the moment.
Okay. Can't quite get there. All right. I am going to actually, yeah, let's just go ahead and go. Let's go.
All right.
I'm going to go 1, 2. Gonna go to about right here and ready my glaive for when they get close enough so that I can whack something.
Okay.
Or no, ready my sword. Sorry, because glaive is still
Right.
at disadvantage.
So, one note about rules is that ordinarily underwater combat with melee attacks would be disadvantage except for certain like thrusting weapons, but with a swimming speed that is not the case. However, ranged attacks are still potentially subject to that, like certain
Ranged
things
weapon
like,
attacks.
yes, ranged weapon attacks, I should say.
Oh,
What?
that's right. I actually do have spell. I do have a spell. I can.
Well,
fire
I mean,
these guys.
tell me what you want to do.
No,
So
I'm gonna hold off and wait till they get closer.
okay.
At this point.
All right. So the other thing, yeah. All right. So, so ranged weapon attacks, except for crossbows, I believe, they will be at disadvantage in their normal range, and past their normal range, they just won't go further than that. That's for ranged weapon attacks. I'm not sure why crossbow is.
I think it's they're taking that as a kind of the as close as they can come to a spear gun.
Yeah. Well, and
Yeah.
then I guess maybe the idea is that the water resistance would be acting on the bow itself compared to a more, anyway.
Yeah.
Until a clockwork mechanism,
Yes.
yeah.
So in any case, though, that's Flounce's turn. Exel.
Alrighty. I see that large gentleman in the back,
Mm-hmm.
and I am going to Eldritch Blast him.
Okay. You might need to move a little closer.
Let's see, 120 feet.
Oh,
Yeah,
nope. You're right there.
And bonus action, Form of Dread. I like, what's that thing? Temporary hit points. That's the one I was looking for. And, oh, it's all the way down here. Good Lord.
Okay.
Didn't do the hit points though.
When you're kind of muttering away from your microphone,
sorry.
we don't really hear you.
No, it didn't do the hit points. I had to do it separate.
All right. So we're waiting on those Eldritch Blast attacks. Okay, a 27 will hit.
And 13 points.
Okay. Anything else? You're with your Form of Dread. He needs
Unless he's immune or something. Yeah, it's a Wisdom save. 12 doesn't hit, I'm sure.
12 does not hit.
And last one.
Let's see.
A 17.
Okay. Okay. He's not immune to fear, so 17 will also hit. So he's going to make
points.
two Wisdom saves. That's a 17 and an 18.
Yep, he passes both of those.
Mhm.
Are the small dudes? Are these smaller ones other ghosts, or is this other something else?
Their manifestation seems to be a little bit different. Mostly, what you see, like the most solid part of them, seems to be their skull, which is kind of floating amongst a more hazily defined figure. They're not as they clearly seem less fully defined than the other one.
Okay. Do they seem to be looking at us aggressively?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Then since he passed his, I will use my reaction to make the hold on. Actually, let me see how far away that is. I think it's 60 feet.
Yeah, I think you'd have to move 15 feet further forward. The closest one to you is currently 75 feet away.
Oh no. Oh wow. Oh no. It works within 120 feet. Holy
Okay.
crap.
Well, let's
yeah,
go
so
ahead
yeah.
and do the things you're doing.
Yeah, so it'll have to make a wisdom save DC 14 or be afraid.
Okay.
And the only difference about this one is it has to remake the save each turn for up
Okay.
to a minute.
All right. Well, these guys actually do have. Actually, I think these guys have magical resistance, so he's rolling this with advantage. Got to 17.
Darn.
Okay. That your turn?
Yep.
Okay. So as the first to approach the ship, Flounce, these three skull sailors are looking at you as their primary sort of target, and one of them is going to shoot 2 fire rays at you. That's a 22 and a 22, and
Both hit.
yeah, so both of those together would do 26 fire damage to you, except that you're underwater, and so you have resistance to fire damage while underwater.
Okay.
But that's still going to be 13 fire damage from that first one.
That's fine.
And then the second one is going to do the same thing for a 23 to hit, and then a 13 to hit. So that's
13
another.
does not hit.
Yeah. So that's going to be a total of 7 to you. I already halved that.
Okay.
And then the third one is actually looking past you to where everybody else, and it casts Fireball.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
oh,
Wow.
nuts.
Yay!
And,
With
getting out of the
flashbacks to
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's that. The Rhyme of the Frost Maiden?
yeah, the 4 of you are all
Yeah.
certainly all within that range. It is going to be a dexterity saving throw.
yeah.
This is not.
How
Oh,
does the natural one sound on a dex save?
Ooh.
Well, it sounds like it's probably going to be a failure.
16.
16 is a
11 for me.
success. 11 is a failure.
Yeah.
So, Exel? There you go. There
what
we go.
What was a
Okay.
success?
Well, 14 is a success, but 9 is not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't even bump it to make it better. So
No. So, so it looks like only Xenophon saved. So, Xenophon, you, so everyone who failed is going to take 15 fire damage. That is,
Okay.
I'm already having it.
Yeah,
So
because
you all
because
have
it counts,
resistance. I'm going to give you the number that you actually take.
Yep.
And so, but Xenophon, you're going to take, half of that. So just 7 for you.
Okay.
But that is the 3 flame skulls turn.
Flame
Yeah.
skulls. Why did it have to be flame skulls?
Ooh, boy.
Dianok, your turn.
Hate these things.
Wow. Realizing how the water kind of took out or kind of lessened the fire's effect,
Mhm.
it's going to go 1, 2, can go about here.
You're not going to spread out more than that. Spread out, Dianox. Spread
Yeah.
out.
Let me do my thing,
Okay.
and then with these 2,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to cast lightning bolt.
Okay.
Okay.
Ah, I see where you're going with that. Zorp.
Yeah, so I think that in this context, I'm going to rule that the lightning bolt works normally.
Okay.
Because the alternative, frankly, would be that it zaps you and everybody close to you.
Yeah.
Zorp.
Yeah.
And
But
me.
it absolutely will work. It'll both of those will be affected in the traditional way. So first, the flame skull gets a 14 to save,
That's a failure.
and the wraith gets a 10.
That's also a failure. So 30 damage.
Okay, so the wraith is resistant to lightning damage. They're both resistant. So 30,
Okay.
you said?
Yep. So
Okay.
that would be reduced to 15.
All right.
And I moved a little further, and that's my turn.
All right. It is now the wraith's turn. It is going to surge forward towards you, Flounce.
All right.
And I believe you had a readied action.
Yep. I'm going to whack him with my sword.
Okay, let's see.
Oh, that's a miss. That's a 9.
Oh, yeah, critical fail.
Oof.
So, as it charges forward towards you, it reaches out its spectral hand and it's going to try to life drain you. Gets a
Okay.
22 to hit.
That hits.
Ooh.
That's rolling a lot of 22s to hit today. So that is going to, let's see. You're first going to take 22 necrotic damage,
Uh-huh.
but also you need to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. I'm pretty good at those, usually.
Hmm?
It's a 12.
That's a 12 is a failure, unfortunately. So that means in addition to taking that 22 necrotic damage, your hit point maximum is reduced by 22.
Holy shoot.
Yeah. That's bad.
So Canthan, you're up.
Okay, I am going to zoom, swim up to here. And as a bonus action, activate Fighting Spirits. and then attack the skull with Spirit Cleaver.
Sounds good.
16.
A 16 does hit. Yep.
Okay. 12 slashing damage.
Okay.
28 for 9 slashing damage. And a 26 for 8 slashing damage.
All right. All of those are going to hit.
Dang.
Nice.
32 damage later, it's still there.
What is it? It's not 29?
Oh, 29. Sorry. Yep,
All right.
29.
Okay. I
All
just
right.
wanted to make sure I wasn't not counting something.
Yeah.
It is
okay.
still there.
Okay.
Oof.
All right.
I mean,
bashed
you
it
did a lot
around
of damage
bunch,
to it, but it's
yeah.
not destroyed.
Okay, well, that's my turn.
Okay. Xenophon.
Okay, I'm going to swim to here. I'm going to, as a bonus action, inspire Flounce.
Thank you.
And I'm going to cast I shouldn't overthink this, should I? I'm not going to overthink it. I'm going to cast Sacred Flame on the one that Canthan's been bashing at.
All right. It's going to make a dexterity save.
Yep.
It does so with advantage because it has magical resistance. Gets a 23.
Yeah, it saves, so it gets nothing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna have to think different tactics. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, that's my turn.
Flounce, you're up.
All right. Let us bonus action Big Bunny.
Okay.
Going to Pokins the Wraith with my glaive.
Okay.
For 17 to hit.
All right. 17 does hit.
Okay. For I don't know why that rolled like that.
What do you mean?
Yes. Yeah, it's 14.
Yeah, 14.
And because it's automatically adding my giant smite.
Mhm.
And then second poke.
Yep.
That's a 14 to hit.
Also hits.
Oh, nice. Ignoring the giant smite,
Yep.
it's 11 slashing damage.
All right. Yeah. So this thing is looking pretty ragged now. It's losing its form, but it's still active. And I think as you're slashing at it, it looks up at you. It looks at you. You're not towering over it because you can both they're up and down is not an issue here, but it looks at you and it just says, "You've seen Derek and Violet. I can smell them on you." All right. Axel, your turn.
I will cast Summon Shadow Spawn.
Okay.
And I would like to put it right next to right beneath the furthest back green skull sailor.
Okay. Let's see. I had where here. Let me there we go. Actually I think we used this guy. Let me make it so you can put it anywhere. There you go. So
nice.
Yeah, you can place the token where you want it.
Awesome. It only has a 30. Oh, well, I can put it. This little one right here.
Yep.
I will summon it. Boop.
All right.
There. Because I remeasured, and that puts it 35 feet away from Canthan, and 30 feet away from the dude, and 35 feet away from Big Bunny.
Yep.
So they will not be affected when I end my turn, and it then unleashes a dreadful scream.
Aha.
So all three skulls and the wraith need to make a DC 16 save against being frightened of it.
Okay. The flame skulls are actually all immune to frightened. The wraith, however, is not.
No, they are problems.
He makes a save. He gets 16.
Oh, he just met it.
Mm.
And they are immune, so there's no point in that. Alrighty, that is my turn.
The wraith looks over and says, "They don't have ears anymore." I'm almost just leaning into full-on Cobra Commander voice. All right, so I'm not going to. That's not what he sounds like. Because I might save that voice for someone else. All right. Anyway, the wraith says that, and then are you done with your turn, Exel?
Yes.
Okay. It is now the Flame Skull's turn. The one that's closest to you, Canthan.
Mm-hmm.
It mutters words that you don't hear, and then its form becomes blurred.
Okay.
And then the other two do the same. They're all three casting blur on themselves.
Okay.
Makes their profile indistinct, as though it will be difficult to hit them directly. And that is what they do this time. Dianok.
You don't need ears to hear, to feel this, and Pasha's Mind Whip at 5th level.
Okay.
So I can get all 4 of them.
Oh, okay.
Goodness gracious.
Intelligence save.
Intelligence save. Okay. Well, so the wraith first. That's a 3.
That's a fail.
The flame skulls all continue to roll with advantage because of their magical resistance. But so the first one's a 19.
That's a success.
Yeah. Another 19.
Success.
Yeah. And then a 15.
That's a fail.
Okay.
So 8 damage, half on a success.
Okay. So the one that was actually already damaged the most takes full amount, and it's still not quite destroyed.
Okay.
But the other two take 4 damage. All right.
Yep. And the ones that fail, can't take a reaction and can either move, action, or bonus action.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And that's my turn.
Okay. It is the Wraith's turn again, Flounce, and he's going to try to life drain you again.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. Another 22 to hit.
Oh, geez.
Okay.
Oh.
This time I'm gonna use shield.
Okay. So does it 20? The shield blocks it.
Oh no, it won't because it's only adding 5 to my AC.
Yeah.
It won't block it. Never mind.
Okay.
Then I
Yeah.
will use
Silvery bars.
Silvery barbs.
indeed.
I was thinking of that, but I'll let you do it.
Okay.
'Cause, I'm gonna make sure I'm within range.
If
Oh,
you're-
I might not be.
If not, then I will.
Okay.
All right.
No, I am. I am just in it. I'm
Okay.
5. I am.
Well, no, I
just-
think you would need to be within range of the Wraith,
Oh, of the
not
Wraith.
not of
Oh, okay. Then I will cast.
Yeah,
Silvery
then
barbs.
it's you.
Yeah. Okay. So
Nobody.
count yourselves lucky that I am going to roll it again. I've got it set where it automatically always rolls 2, for advantage or disadvantage. And the second roll in that case was a crit. So I'm not going to just use that. I am going to roll again.
Well, remember I've got adamantine armor.
Yeah, and also
Crit
you'll
wouldn't count.
also have
Well,
to take
I
the
mean,
lower
it
roll.
would still hit. It would
Yeah, it
just
would
not
hit.
but
do
it wouldn't
double
crit,
damage.
Yeah.
Okay, so I did roll again, and it got a 24.
Oof.
Oh, so it hit anyway.
Yeah.
But I will give advantage to Flounce for their next attack roll, ability check, or saving throw.
Well, you
Is it-
might want to
I've
use
got
it on this
inspiration.
Constitution saving throw you're about to make.
There you go.
Because you're going to take 19 necrotic damage,
Okay.
and you're going to make this saving throw to see if it reduces your total hit points again.
Okay, but I do have inspiration. That's a D10, right?
That's a
Yes.
D10. And
Why do you have inspiration?
because I gave it to her last
Yeah.
round.
Bardic
Oh, okay.
inspiration.
Okay,
Bardic
I
inspiration.
missed that, but so
Yeah.
that's fine. I trust you.
Yeah.
So
And-
I need it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
By
manually roll that
advantage,
sucker.
you can use advantage on this.
Yeah, you can all. Yeah, that's true also because of the silvery barbs.
Yep.
Okay, I'll just use advantage. No, that didn't work.
Okay.
Let me roll my d10
Mhm.
for the on the 12.
Come on.
Yep,
4.
that's enough because that makes
Oh.
it 16 and you're 14 you needed.
Yeah.
So you do still take that 19 necrotic damage, but
Yeah.
your hit point maximum is not reduced again.
Okay.
Oof.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna have to heal you next round, I think, Flounce.
Canthan's,
No, don't worry about it.
You sure?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good.
Canthan's turn.
Okay. I am going to. I think I'm going to just go ahead and try and hit that thing in spite of the blur.
Okay, so roll with disadvantage.
Yep. 23
That does still hit. Yeah.
for 9 damage.
Yeah, that one is destroyed.
All right.
One down.
It
I
yes,
will-
you feel cleave a physical skull in half and then it kind of crumbles.
Yeah. I will swim over to here and attack the next one.
All right.
An 18 to hit
18 still hits.
for 11 damage
All right.
and 26 to hit
Yeah, you're rolling
for
okay.
15 damage.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a total of 26.
I see right through you.
Mm-hmm. It clacks its teeth at you. All right. Nice work. Okay. That makes
Oh, you
it-
know what?
Hmm?
Yeah, I'm going to move in and as a bonus action attack with the butt of my attack with the butt of my hold on here.
Okay.
It's not doing it. All right. Whoops.
Okay.
Sorry,
That's all right.
okay, that was a natural one, so
Okay.
that misses.
Yeah. So, all right. Now it is Xenophon's turn.
All right. Let's try sacred. First of all, I will give inspiration to Canthan this time
Okay.
because you're fighting blurred opponents might need it. And we'll try sacred flaming the wraith.
Okay. It gets an 8 on
Okay,
its dexterity save,
great. So it takes 20 radiant damage.
and it is burned away. Entirely. Disappears, screaming in ghostly frustration.
And I'm going to move to here in case these skulls decide to try to fireball, they won't hit both me and Flounce. So that is my turn.
Actually, because I had been paying attention to this, they would have been able to get you, Flounce, and Dianok,
Yes, they would. They would.
Anyway, but not anymore. All right. That was Xenophon's turn. Your
That's
turn,
Xenophon.
Flounce.
Hey. Let's mosey on over here and whack a skull.
Okay,
these
because
skulls
of the blur, you are attacking with disadvantage, but proceed.
Okay.
And they're magically defended. They're nasty.
Yeah, 11.
An 11 misses, unfortunately.
Okay, and second attack.
And 18 will
18?
certainly hit.
Okay. And that's going to be,
14.
let's see, 14.
Yeah.
With giant smite.
All right. It is looking pretty rough, but it is not destroyed yet.
And
Uh,
I'm going bonus action. I'm
Mhm.
going to use my thingy to heal myself.
Second wind?
Yes.
All right. That thingy.
Yeah, that thingy that does the thing.
Yeah. All right. Exel, you're up.
I will have to. I think I'm going to have to move. I think those guys are a little far from me. No, actually, no, they're not. So
Especially
I will,
since you can move 60 feet.
Right. Let's see. And I know exactly where I'll move. Because you said we have 60 feet of movement.
Mm-hmm.
There, that space.
Way to spread
Right there,
yourselves out so much that I have to zoom out on the map.
And I will Eldritch Blast the one in front of Flouts first.
Okay. You are making an attack roll with disadvantage because of the blur.
Alrighty. And there we go.
Wow, double 27s. I think that helps. And that one is destroyed.
Nice.
Mash.
And then I will shoot the other one twice. About 20
Yeah, that'll hit.
for 6 points.
Mhm.
16.
16 also hits, and that one is also destroyed. And as the last of these undead assailants is destroyed, you find that this ghostly ship begins to break apart as though it were being wrecked by a spectral storm, breaking into two pieces and then fading into nothing.
Does anything fall out of the ship? Like, yeah, something that, cargo that might have fallen out, or
Any pieces that are left from this ship also fade away into spectral nothingness.
I'm thinking like a recreation of what happened, so give a clue of where to look if we found it. Okay.
It was clearly moving through the water anyway before it attacked.
Radio. I am going to, so I guess we'll continue descending, but I will keep my summon shadow spawn up for the duration, for as long as it takes to get to where we're going.
Okay.
How long can you keep that up?
An hour.
Oh, okay. Probably wise if we have undead running around these waters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Axel is going to be swimming while clutching an undead cadaverous doggy in his arms.
Yeah, it's a weird. This one actually looks more like seaweed and like under like sand and muck from the bottom of the water. Like imagine if you dunked Swamp Thing.
Uh-huh.
This is what this one looks like.
I mean, he's moist most of the time, anyways.
Right.
But how are you going to get this out of your fur? Swamp Thing?
I don't think that's a concern of Axel's.
There's stuff in there that's
been there for years.
Christiana, when you take the hide action, do you have to move slower than you normally would?
Well, it depends.
Move stealthily.
Yeah, I mean, if you're moving stealthily, but like, what are you talking about? Are you talking about in combat or?
Well, no, because the thing about the form for this shadow spawn is this fear one, and they can take as a bonus action, they can take hide.
Okay.
In dim or darkness.
Uh-huh.
And I was just wondering if they could do that and follow along, or if they would be moving too slowly.
No, if they're moving while hidden, that's not how hide works.
Okay, cool.
That would be moving stealthily, which is different.
Okay, cool.
So in any case, though, you resume your journey.
Yep.
Into the depths.
Yep.
And so, as you are getting closer and closer to the sea floor, you begin to see a pearlescent haze cutting through the darkness. And below, you see a shimmering dome of light, a great magical barrier that shelters the city below. I think we'll briefly retcon that you were told that was going to be there and that it was not going to be a problem. You just go right through it.
Yeah.
So as you do, I'm giving you a handout, which is the undersea city of Genya.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, when DNR gets to the barrier, they're just gonna take a moment to kind of look look at the barrier a bit and then go through.
Okay.
Just because protective stuff is DNR's jam.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, yes, as you see the city expanding before you, you are taking in the beauty of the city. A majestic vista spreads beneath the dome, the undersea city of Janya. The city's dark towers are carved with circular windows and covered with designs marked by bioluminescent barnacles. People slip through open corridors between buildings, swimming high above the volcanic rock and coral of the seafloor below.
Okay, this is cool.
This is one of the most scenic spots we've seen yet on our adventures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is definitely something.
And
We weren't told exactly where to find this Zokai Ude. What's it?
Zosi Ude.
Zosi.
Zose Ade.
Zose Ade. My
Yeah.
apologies.
Actually, you know what? Let me double check it myself, just because I believe it was Ade. Let's see what. I need to just keep this part open. Okay. Zoshi Ade. And in any case, as you are taking in the beauty of the city, someone approaches. A figure with kelp-colored hair and stingray-colored skin approaches the characters. They have a masculine profile and appear to be humanoid, except for the coloration I mentioned and the fact that they have sort of fin-like structures on both their arms and legs. And as they approach, they just say, welcome. I trust you are the Order of the Golden Prawn. I was expecting you a little bit sooner, but welcome. I hope you didn't have any trouble on your descent.
Just some ghosts, it seems.
And flaming skulls. So we had an encounter with a ghostly ship crewed by a wraith and some undead flaming skulls. That.
Wait, what? Seriously?
Seriously.
Yeah.
I will gesture to Flounce, who's wounded still.
Oh, I'm I'll be frank. I was asking to be polite. I didn't really expect that you would have actually had trouble. I'm so sorry that happened. That's not it's not typical. I mean,
Professional risk.
Well, so I mean, I know you've come seeking a shipwreck, and sometimes wreck sites can be haunted, but I've never heard of any kind of a manifestation in open water like that.
Well, it said that it was tracking us because of contact we've had with other haints elsewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, why? Well, I hope that you've all come through all right. Do you need anything? Can I help you with anything, or are you eager to speak with the High Court?
Yeah, anyone who can help us find the shipwreck we're looking for is appreciated.
Yes. Well, my intent is that there is. I'm going to bring you to speak with a woman named Zisata, and she is a member of the High Court and commands Janya's security forces, known as the Billowing Patrol. She, I believe, is who can best help you find the shipwreck you're looking for.
Okay.
Okay.
Please lead on.
All right. So I will let you know right now that she is currently attending a performance at the Cerulean Lyceum, and so if you are in a hurry, I think we could go speak to her in her box. But
I don't think we're in that much of a hurry.
Yeah.
If it's going to be an hour. I mean, this is not like one of those operas that goes on for 3 days.
Well, not 3 days. Probably a few more hours at least. Though.
Okay. I don't think that's out of the question to wait.
Would it be possible to attend the opera, the remainder of the opera,
Well, I mean, it's already in progress, and I don't think there would be any, you know, uh, I guess up on the surface you all have seats, right? Well, it's a bit like that here. There's certainly you must have a ticket, and so there are assigned locations, and it's one thing to
Mm-hmm.
visit a private location and have her briefly come out of that area, but I think that the performance itself is sold out.
Then we can wait.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah, short rest. Whee!
Ah, Who's fallen bard?
Yeah,
Be me.
All right.
yeah.
Uh,
Short rest.
Sure. So the as he is guiding you in the direction of the Cerulean Lyceum, and I think as you approach, you can see that there's a connected series of vaulted halls set around a broad quadrangle. Icicle-like spikes surround the Cerulean Lyceum's main conservatory, which resembles a massive blue crystal. And he explains that the opera is of a specific form called Jinju that is unique to to Janya, partly just because it's designed to be performed underwater, and so as a result would be difficult to perform elsewhere. But so in any case, so I mean, do you need like a private room or just I mean, we can just hang out in the hallways outside the conservatory, or tell me how I could best help you here.
A place to rest would be good.
Yeah. How about, is there like a place to like sit down and
Well, no, not sit down.
Well, yes, I mean, we don't have a lot of chairs, but I suppose I mean,
well,
Do-
I can
do
sit on
you-
the ground.
well, I
You
mean,
can float.
if we could probably find something. We could spread something out if you really needed to have contact with the
Ground.
ground floor. Or if you need contact and don't want to touch the sea floor, I mean, we could find something.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
All right. I
Um,
mean, let me know if you need it. I don't want to presume.
Just someplace we can float quietly
Mhm.
and tend to our wounds.
Okay. So he takes you. There's a little corner of the quadrangle of the college here. You know, there's people kind of coming and going, but you're a little bit out of the way in this spot. You see that there's others, perhaps students that are just kind of lounging or studying.
Mm-hmm.
And so he, gosh, I cannot. It's Zoshi Ude. Zoshi Ude, says so. Technically, Zizata is attending a gala as part of the opera, and that's technically what will be happening after the performance itself. But it's like a big sort of fancy party, but certainly approaching her there would be seen as less of an interruption.
Okay, we can wait for that.
We can wait for that.
Well,
All right. So let's see. I think yeah. So go ahead and do your short rest activities. There's no problem with that.
let's see.
I think that as you are even waiting there, you can kind of still hear, muffled somewhat. You can hear a little bit of what must be being performed inside the conservatory, sort of low-toned, hypnotic music, but you're not able to hear it hear it too clearly because, of course, you're not inside where the actual performance is happening.
Okay, got my got the spell I used. That big spell I used back. And Dianoc, by the way, is essentially unharmed for that fireball.
Nice.
Yep.
Okay. Well, greater restoration when we get back to the Radiant Citadel, but
Or I
Um,
would.
greater. What do you need greater restoration for?
the necrotic damage that reduced my hit point max.
It so happens your bard has that as a 5th level spell. Would you like to be greater restored?
Recall
you
that there is a financial cost.
Oh, that's
for
right. I
greater
don't have
The diamond.
Yeah,
the
that's why
diamond. I need
Oh,
diamond dust. I need diamond dust.
I will
worth
live
at least
until we
100
get
CP.
to the Radiant Citadel.
Would I have any idea about how long that would last?
Make an Arcana check.
Okay. Dirty 20.
Generally, this type of effect it wears off after a long rest.
I
Okay.
think
Okay.
that will you'll be feeling much better after a night's sleep.
Okay. Well, we'll see what happens.
Nothing else. We can get it restored when you're back.
Yeah. It's all good.
I'm gonna have to start taking some diamond dust with me. Clearly, if we're gonna keep fighting undead and things.
All right. Well, I am going to have to just briefly exit Roll20 and then log back in because I have done accidentally a thing that is annoying, which is that if I open a little window and then I pop it out as a separate window so that it doesn't show on the stream, and then I close it, it won't let me open it again. So I did that accidentally with a handout that I'm going to give you in a moment. So this will only take a second.
I wonder what it means, the fact that we met a ghostly manifestation of the ship we're searching for.
Well, we don't know that it was that specific ship. We know that it was
I
a
have the
ship.
same name. The Ger Shaman.
Well, I mean, they clearly are related to the haints we saw on the surface
Yeah.
because they said so.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean that.
It had printed on the side the name of the ship you're looking for.
Oh, okay.
Right.
And someone said that we had there must be some sort of link between those spirits and one of us. I wonder what that means.
No, they smelled the haints on us.
yeah.
No, well, okay, correct me if I'm wrong out of character, that it was the speaker.
The people's steward, the leader, said that it was unusual that they would appear in that way, and that they did to you suggests that there is some sort of a connection, but he had no idea what it would be.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wonder what that type of connection that would be, given the fact that there's 2 different artifacts from my home. It makes me wonder if it might be me.
Yeah,
Maybe.
it's certainly a theory worth exploring and pursuing.
And I just kind of stare into the distance and
Okay.
fiddle with the bangle bracelet spells.
All right. Well, so I mean, if anyone wanted to talk more during your rest, you could. But in the meantime, after some time goes by, the performance is you can hear the music sort of transitioning, and Zoshi says, yeah, I think they're wrapping up. So if we go ahead and head in towards the their box, we could probably catch them just coming out of it.
Okay.
Yes, let's go,
do that.
please.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah, and so they lead you in through sort of the different hallways that adjoin where the different sort of private viewing boxes are, and then waiting outside one, you catch and observe Zisata, who I'm going to give you a handout for right now, who is once also of this the Childeran variety of humanoid that is what populates the city here. She has these great big billowing robes with little tendrils on them that kind of look like they're meant to evoke jellyfish. And so she emerges with sort of a satisfied smile on her face that as soon as she sees you and Zoe, she just kind of becomes like, more neutral and like prepared. Like not like disappointed or annoyed, but just kind of like, no, I'm stoic now.
Yeah, so I had fun. Now I have to be professional.
Professional face.
Yes.
Yep.
She looks around at all of you and just says, well, I suppose that I am grateful at least that you waited until the performance was finished. What business do you have with the Billowing Patrol?
We seek your help in finding a shipwreck. And I described the events of the inn and the commission we've been given by the city above, and also throw in the ghostly shipwreck attack with the same name attacking us, and finish with. So we seem to be tied to the shipwreck. So seems to be that finding the shipwreck is something that not only we have commissioned to do, that we must do, and we seek your help in finding this location in your lovely waters.
Well, there certainly have been sightings of a ghostly vessel above Janya beginning several days ago. I am dismayed to hear that they are actually attacking as well. Did you only say that you were here for the shipwreck? Did you say why or what other details did you share?
Oh, I'm muted. So I didn't. I left out the I left out our friends in the rave, but I otherwise described the story in.
But like the whole mission of taking a job from the regent of the stewards.
I'm not gonna see. That's like, this is what we've been commissioned to do, and we seem to be tied to the shipwreck anyhow. If ghost ships are attacking us and Haines are showing up, so we have multiple reasons and desires to go find the shipwreck. Can you help us?
So when you say that you are, she smiles and just says, well, the Gierskamen is a shipwreck we do know the location of. We can, I will need to, review my records to find the location for you. I don't have it at top of mind, but we can certainly help you, and we are very pleased to help recover very pleased to be helping recover lost lore essential to the future of both Janai and Janya.
Indeed.
But like as she's kind of saying that, you hear a voice saying, well, look who it is, greeting surface visitors. And another person comes out, and I'm giving you another handout, says, Brother Brumane, who is also Chiliran, but he has, brown skin and is dressed in like flowing white robes. You can still see he has like the little fins on his arms and legs, and he approaches and gregariously is making to like shake hands with all of you, and just says, hello, I am, you may call me Brother Brumane. I am one of the leaders of the new Janyan movement, a group focused on Janya's self-reliance and future greatness. I am a little, I received word that we were getting some surface visitors coming down to speak with to seek a shipwreck, and I wonder if I heard right that you are working for the People's Stewards?
We have been commissioned thusly.
I don't suppose the Night Revelers caught your interest at all?
The Night Revelers did talk to us. I wouldn't say that they caught our interest. They certainly gave pitch.
They made a pitch.
They made a pitch.
And we are as a group, we're still deciding how we're going to handle the situation. They did not like engage our services and enter into a contract the way the government did. But
Well,
I don't think that they actually do that much. They
I
don't seem
think
like the engage a contract type of people.
Well, they certainly did me a favor by letting me know that you are coming down here. I don't suppose I could persuade you to bring the books to me. And Zisata is just like, excuse me, you are barging into a private meeting uninvited. And she starts trying to like push past him and just say, they've already been contacted to work for the People's Stewards with my cooperation, and then he's just interrupting and saying, I can get you the information that she is promising you. I can find you the location of the shipwreck. But what I'd ask is that you bring these outdated lore of foreign lands, you bring those to me, rather, and that way I can make sure that these outdated in unnecessary tomes are not redistributed as though they provide value in our present day. And
So you would have the information not used by either of the factions of the surface world. Is that correct?
I think that these books are a waste of everybody's time and effort. If you are seeking them, I would certainly appreciate you bringing them to me instead. If I would have you go find them, because otherwise they would remain there for others to find irresponsibly. And Zisata is just saying, excuse me, I believe that they have already made an arrangement. Is that not correct? And she's looking to the rest of you.
That is correct. And we have a reputation to uphold.
We are the Order of the Golden Prod. We hold our word.
She kind of looks to him with sort of an imperious look, like, uh-huh. And then he just says, so you will not even hear my proposal? You will not even hear me out?
You've already made your proposal. Your proposal was to show us that you really didn't have much use for what's on the tablets, and so it seems kind of strange that you want them given how little use you have for them. So I'm not interested in hearing more, to tell you the truth, but I'm not the only one. I'm not one in charge. If these guys think you have some sense to make, you're willing to talk to them.
We are a cooperative group. So what would you, but for the sake of argument, what would you give us if we were to deliver the tablet? We were to break our agreement and bring the tablets to you instead. What sort of remuneration would that entail?
He is already looking at all of you, just saying, I should have expected this from surface dwellers. You do the bidding of the first person who asks you, and care not about the complexities of the situation.
I make an insight check.
All right.
Insight check.
Insight?
Sure. Yeah. 11.
I mean, he seems pissed that you're not doing what he's wanting you to do.
Yeah.
Which is...
Yeah.
I mean,
it's not enough.
Yeah.
Could have told you that.
But he just says, it's like, if you're not willing to listen, then I have no need to continue speaking to those without ears to hear. And he swims away.
One thing I would like to inform you is that one of the reasons we were put on this mission is because
he has swum away.
No. Yeah.
Oh, he's gone. He's gone.
How does the lady, how did she react to his response?
She is doing her best to avoid looking just like, the cat who ate the canary.
we just made her day. Performance, and then this guy was told to swim off.
Yeah,
We have made her day.
Yeah.
I don't understand his logic at all.
Yes, I apologize for that rude interruption. You see, there are those within Janya who see history as a waste and just wish to, close the door of any possible use of historical documents or ancient magics. And I find it quite irresponsible. I'm very pleased to see that you agree. So, would you like to accompany me to my office and we will find you the location of this shipwreck?
Please.
Please.
That would be, yes. Thank you.
That would be lovely.
Oh.
Thank you so much.
All right. So as she is, she's taking you along to the main, High Council building and in through this enormous, building and taking you into various little office areas. Let's see. She brings you to a room that's outside, like a records room. And she says, I will be able to find, as I mentioned, the Gearskamen is a shipwreck known to us, but I would have to find its position onto the charts and make a chart for you so that you can find it. But I wish to discuss for a moment with you that although I am certainly pleased that you are working with the People's Stewards, and I think it is entirely appropriate that Atibapa receive this information, truly, as a member of the High Council of Janya, it is really my duty to share this cultural wisdom with the People's Stewards. And I believe that it is only appropriate that I be permitted to review the materials before they are taken out of the water entirely. And so before I provide you with the location, I would request that you bring the books to me first. And then I can certainly see that they are delivered to Atibapa.
Well, our agreement with him was that we would deliver them. I mean, we're happy to let you review them along the way.
And make a copy as necessary, but the agreement we had with the Atibapa was that we would deliver them to him. But I do agree.
So one note that those of you with kind of like experience in these matters at all know that like making a copy is not like an hour. It's more like a week.
Yeah.
So, but are you proposing making a copy?
Yeah, they've been here for a long time. A week is nothing.
So if you're proposing making a copy, go ahead and make a persuasion check.
I would be happy to try to talk her into this. Let's see if we can do that. 24.
Yeah. She listens to you and she says, I believe that would be acceptable. If you bring them here, we will make a copy here, and then you can, of course, take the original up to Atibapa. I find myself in alignment with him from a perspective of the importance of these books. However, I do find that if the only copy were to be delivered to him, he might invite that I am able to come and review it there, which is not ideal for the history here. And for these books are just as much Janyan history as Janai's.
I agree entirely. It would be an act of cultural appropriation and a gross tread on your sovereignty not to let you have a copy of the books, hence our proposal.
All right. Well, so my understanding, my expectation is that it will be somewhere in the neighborhood of a week in order to make the copies. But I find this in acceptable terms. So if you bring the books to me and we will make the copy, you may then take the originals to Atibapa as promised.
Agreed. I think I can find things to do here for a week.
Yeah.
Friends?
Oh, yeah. This is a fascinating place. It'd be nice to be able to visit a place that isn't in turmoil.
Yeah, and more peril where we need to leave immediately.
Exactly.
My thought is like if it's basically like stone tablets and they're carved, I wonder if you could make like an impression, molds and basically
on the surface, probably, yeah.
Now you're thinking.
Yeah. So in any case, she is pleased that you have come to an accord, and she asks that Joshi Are give you just like continue to escort you where you like, and that they will have the information for you in a matter of hours.
Okay.
All right.
And without necessarily needing to roleplay those hours, we can just go ahead and say that you hang out, you swim around, you see some of the sights a little bit, and eventually you are provided with a map of the region around Jenya with a location 15 miles from the city marked. And this is a location known as the Trench of Love Lost. And it is where members of the Billowing Patrol found the wreck of the Gearskamen, but did not explore it over much, just because the shipwrecks are often haunted. And especially in this case, it would seem that this one is especially haunted if it can actually manifest a ghost ship to swim around.
Yeah.
But Zoshi Ade is, he says, I can help you get to that location, but I'm not much of a fighter. So, maybe I'll, once we find the trench, I'll kind of
Stay with the vehicle.
well, I mean, we're not really
Metaphorically.
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
All right. So, I mean, is there anything else that you need here before we head out? I mean,
Do we
do
want
do
a
you
long
need a
rest?
rest? Or
I'm not in any great need of a rest.
No, I'm okay.
I've cast one.
You know,
I've
we'll
cast
have
one
to-
spell.
We'll
How
have to
far?
camp out, but we can get a long rest, and I can get a long rest then, so I'm not too worried.
Okay.
Axel.
Well, I mean, if we're gonna take a long rest before we enter the chasm, it's probably better to do it here.
yeah, I
long
mean, if you feel like you want a night's rest, I would advise you do that here. I mean, the region around Jenya is relatively well guarded, but I mean, if you're outside the dome, I mean, anything could just kind of swim up on you. I mean, it's like especially since you could just go ahead and do it. Like, it'll take about 2.5 hours to get there. Once
Okay.
we get
So I think we
moving.
take a long rest. And besides, camp then. How
Yeah.
does one eat underwater? What sort of spices and flavors and methods are used?
You know something? I've been thinking this is probably the one place I'm not going to be handing out the sauce. That's probably not going to be terribly helpful. I imagine there's a lot of sushi.
No, but there might also be what's its name? Ceviche.
Now, they might make some interesting drinks with different vegetation and things that grow at the bottom of the ocean.
Also, you've got
drinks.
those
I mean-
those big hot rocks, the ones that are just like continuously hot. That you could use to cook.
So it basically Zoshi kind of says, well, I mean, we don't do a lot of I guess drinks is what you call them up above, just because it's well, I mean, it's probably kind of obvious why, right? I mean, as far as water's concerned, like easy to find. But like, well, I mean, we certainly have a lot of great food here. I mean, we've got a lot of undersea plants that probably a lot of them might never have even tried before, because they only grow underwater. But we also do a lot of we do import some ingredients from J9, so we could make some more familiar recipes, some of them anyway. I mean, I like the sauce, like we do sometimes use like condiments and stuff like that, although usually we kind of put them in like the container is tricky, right? Like, you just do a little bit at a time. You can't really like mix it in with something as well.
Probably be better
yeah.
as a paste rather than an actual
Rather than
sauce.
sauce.
Like, and I mean, if you wanted some fish, we could maybe do that. We usually don't do a lot of it down here ourselves, but
Really?
like,
It's generally undersea plants that you
well,
eat?
it's like we don't eat a lot of meat down here.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
Vegetarian for dinner, friends.
yep.
Yep. Absolutely. Sounds delicious.
It sounds like
our
home.
friends, not food, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so like that's yeah. So in any case, if the plan then is to go ahead and do a long rest here,
Yeah.
I think you do find that it is like it is a different experience eating a meal under the water. But they've got quite a variety of different kind of plants, and some of them are much more leafy like a salad would be, but some of them are have more like chickpea like or all sorts of different textures and some interesting flavors that I think are probably unfamiliar
Okay.
Yeah.
and
Awesome.
I think he's a little concerned like, are those like magic things, like are those going to still be like okay if you sleep? I mean, it's just I would hate to check on you in the morning and find you all drowned or something.
As far as we know, we've been told that they will just continue to work continuously. So as
Oh.
long as we keep
Yeah,
wearing
they-
Well,
them,
great. I mean, that certainly solves that problem. We do have a couple of places undersea where we have magic that kind of creates like temporary like air pockets for like very important visitors and stuff like that. But it's kind of like if you don't need it, let's not do that.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
we'll be fine.
One thing that DNR is going to do at some point when have time is cast the human's tiny hut to see just to see how that interacts with the water.
Okay.
Hmm.
I think
does
that,
it make an air bubble?
I think
Yeah,
it does.
that's a
I
good
think it
question.
does. Right.
Ah.
Because so it's not spherical. It's still a hemisphere
It
with
is
a
a
floor
dome.
because that's how the spell works. But I think inside it is air,
I mean,
comfortable temperature.
Yeah. Let's see.
Clever.
The atmosphere inside space is comfortable and dry regardless of the weather outside.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, there you go.
4,000
this
feet of
rain.
water above is a lot of weather.
Yeah, I think that there is a little bit of a discovery, like when you enter, though, that you suddenly kind of go from not necessarily being aware of being wet to being very aware that you're wet.
Mm.
Yeah.
Right.
Drip, drip, drip.
it's like,
Yeah,
come on,
like it's not uncomfortable. It's just kind of like, oh, I'm swimming around, and then all of a sudden, I'm dripping and covered.
yeah, just like just prestidigitation. Anyone? And
I mean, if you want, yeah. So in any case, you are able to spend a long rest.
Yay.
Yeah.
And then we will go ahead and move on to the Trench of Love Lost. You get going after you've finished your long rest, and it's as promised. Zoshi guides you. It's about a 2.5-hour job, journey to get there. And I think that there are a couple of times that Zoshi kind of steers you like one way or another to avoid, some giant sharks feeding on the remains of a deep sea whale, or an area that says like sometimes there's giant octopuses that live under there. And, usually they won't attack, but, every so often if someone comes a little too close, they'll kind of try to snag an ankle or something like that. But so you're just getting the feeling that like you're kind of glad that you have a guide who's just helping you to
Yeah.
avoid some or otherwise
Tricky
ordinary
situation.
hazards. But as you get close to the trench, meadows of feathery pale pink sea lilies move slowly to and fro in the gentle current. The view is idyllic up to the trench's edge, which crumbles away to deeper depths. And he says, so this is where I'm going to hang out. Nice pretty spot. Down there is where the shipwreck is.
Like straight down?
Yeah, down there. Just like
Okay.
right down there.
Okay.
It's a little ways down. A couple 100 feet down is my understanding from the map here. I will I'll hang out here for a few hours. But like, how long are you thinking that I need to will you be longer than that or?
Well, now that we know where it is, I think we can probably find our way back.
Oh, are you sure? I'll wait for a few hours if you want, but like
Wait for a few
Yeah.
hours.
In
Yeah.
a few
Okay.
hours, we'll send you
Oh,
a
I
sending.
don't
You're
have this.
familiar with the sending spell? I'll send you a
yeah, yeah.
I'll send you a sending spell if we're going to be longer.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Stay safe.
Yeah, you too. Although, I mean, I guess you're kind of like already not doing that, but do your best.
No,
I
we are
suppose.
not.
Close enough.
Yeah.
And we'll head down.
Yeah. So let me go ahead and put you on
under
the
ocean.
map for
That's
the trench.
where we want to
Under
be.
Under the sea.
I was going with a different undersea song, but both work here.
Sorry, I've had intermixed Little Mermaid and Bedknobs and Broomsticks going through my head
All right.
with this.
So, so this is a map where there is like darkness, and so like if you have your drift globe up, let me know, and I'll put
Yeah,
light on your.
I have a drift globe and a light spell, so I should be.
Okay, so
Yeah, Lux.
let me give you a.
Enoch has dark vision.
Okay,
So
so
does
remind me who
Flounce.
has dark vision.
Flounce and Enoch.
And Exel.
Okay. All right, so light from Xenophon. Axel has night vision up to 30 feet. Is that right?
120 feet.
120 feet.
Yeah. Devil's Sight.
Right, and then Flounce, you have what? 60 feet.
120 feet.
Why
That
do you
makes
have
it simpler.
120 feet?
It's my stone rune.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I put light on Xenophon. Who else has their drift globe up or a light spell?
I've got it handy, but I'm not using it yet. I'll let
Okay.
you know if I change
Okay.
it.
All right. What about you, Enoch? Do you
60-foot dark vision.
All right. Let me put that on your token. Okay. Does anyone else? So is everyone able to see on the map?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay.
Um,
Great.
there it is. Okay.
Okay. So So as you are descending down into the trench, you're descending about 200 feet, and at the bottom you see so midnight covered coral. Midnight colored coral covers the trench's sheer walls. Goodness.
Wow.
Yes.
Folks who write adventures that say this text you want the DM to say out loud
I don't
to
know, this one-
yourself before you.
This one
publish.
feels intentional. Midnight colored coral covers the trench's sheer walls. As the bottom of the trench comes into view, you see the wreckage of an ancient, familiar-looking longship gripped by the spreading coral. Silt and debris cover the deck, but the name Gerskamen is still visible on the hull. And as you approach within about 10 feet of the ship, you feel the water feels suddenly colder.
So,
I think
is that ghosts, you think?
that would be my guess.
You can make an Arcana or Religion check if you would like.
Yes.
My good, I
You
think
can
I'm
try that.
decent Arcana.
17.
Yeah, you're pretty sure that this coldness is certainly going to be the result of restless spirits dwelling nearby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's have a look at the ship. I'm going to move forward and start seeing if I can identify anything that looks like it might be
All right.
stone tablets
So
books or anything like that.
as the first person to come directly up to the ship, Canthan, please make a Wisdom saving throw.
Okay. Hold. There it is.
All right.
18.
So you telepathically hear a sudden burst of sound of dozens of drowning cries, but you are able to steel yourself enough that you do not take any psychic damage. No one else experiences that. That is what happens to Canthan as he first approaches. He's the first to get there. So you tell me if that produces anything.
Winces a little and it's like, yeah, definitely haunted. And he'll pull out Spirit Cleaver and hold it in his left hand as he pokes around on the ship.
All right. Well, so you're lucky that it only happens to the first person who gets there, because otherwise you didn't warn anybody that.
Yeah, he
he
didn't say a word. I had no
In any
clue.
case, that's fine. The Gearskamen evidently broke in two when it sank, and half the ship is embedded in the trench wall and the coral around it. The rest must have been lost to the tides. But as you look at the deck, a sizable hole pierces the deck and the hull below.
Huh. I'll swim over to that hole and take a look down.
Yeah. You look, and it's clear that the hole continues all the way through the bottom of the vessel, and continues. Looks like there's sort of a little, a little tunnel, another 20 feet below.
There's a hole into the hold.
Yep. There's a hole in the hull of the
Holy
ship on the
hole.
bottom of the sea.
Hey, Xenophon, would you put some light on my halberd head there, and I will
Yep.
swim down.
I will cast
So-
the cantrip light on his halberd
All
head.
right, let me put the light on you, and then I will move you to the place that is the bottom of that hole on the map.
Okay. Okay.
Can I follow him?
Sure. Let's see. Yeah. So below the hole, it extends into the ceiling of an ancient hidden structure, where you see, like, in this immediate vicinity is broken sort of cavern walls, but what you see immediately a little short distance away is what look like finished walls made of interlocking dark gray stones carved into puzzle piece-like shapes. I'll just go ahead and move everyone down. Yeah. So that's what you see so far.
I'm just gonna go look at the stone, because that's an interesting pattern.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. I agree. It's interesting.
I'm not running out in front. I'm letting the fighters go.
So as you
down.
move a little further in, though, you can see to the south there another room, and the walls of this chamber are inscribed with images of sea creatures and geometric patterns. At its center, a short platform bears a high-backed obsidian throne sculpted with stylized images similar to those on the walls. Behind and to the sides of the platform are 4 deep, rounded alcoves. But then a spectral, armored figure with blazing emerald eyes appears from behind the throne. Did it? Oh, I put it on the wrong layer. Hang on. What happened? There we go. What?
You think
Okay.
artists and roll 20 DMs.
What happened?
That's the wrong layer.
Oh, shoot. Okay, what? Okay. Token layer. Thank you. There we go. All right. So, yes, this spectral armored figure with blazing emerald eyes appears from behind the throne and advances. More fools of Genii? I'm the captain of the Gearskamen, and you will meet the same fate as all who set foot upon my vessel. And we're rolling initiative.
Alrighty.
Okay.
All right. Hold on. I need to update.
Oh my
tracker
god.
here. Hold on, everyone.
My initiative is still terrible. But
Well, they
not
rolled
good.
bad
Oh
too.
man.
And
So
my roll
let's
was
see.
terrible.
I think your dexterity is higher than mine, Flounce.
My dexterity is 0.
Oh, I have a higher dex. How did that happen?
Okay, we
Because
got
I
lots of.
sunk everything in
Okay,
to
so
strength.
Axel rolled a 21, and then Flounce and Xenophon both rolled 7s. Canthan and Deanoch both rolled 5s. And the Wraiths rolled a 6.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah.
So,
So,
7.2 on the
yeah.
second up. Oh,
so
God.
Exel, you are up first.
Oh, God.
Rightio. Wow. Yeah, that's fine. Bonus action, form of dread, but I'm not going to Eldritch Blast him. I'm actually going to use Mind Sliver on him.
Okay.
Mind Sliver.
Let's see. Here first.
The man with the Midas touch.
Let's see what we got here. Ooh, nice.
A warlock's touch.
You get 12
This is-
temporary hit points.
Okay.
Radiant Citadel the musical.
And he needs-
Oh, come on. I'm a bride. What did you expect? He's a right.
he
I
needs
know.
to
I'm
make-
doing it too.
No, but this is Xenophon, so it's Radiant Citadel, the epic poem.
Yeah.
And he has to make a DC 17 intelligence save.
All right. He gets a 5.
Nice. So that means he takes 14 psychic damage, if I'm not mistaken. And I have to roll a d4 because he will have a -2 on his next roll.
Okay.
I think it's a let's see. On the next saving throw mix. Yep.
All right.
And I'll write that down so do not forget it. And that is my turn.
Okay. Xenophon, your turn.
Okay. First of all, I will Sacred Flame him.
Okay.
So dexterity saving throw.
It gets a 21.
Okay, so he succeeded on that, sadly and tragically. But then I will turn to my friend Flounce and say, Flounce, turn into a bunny most large. Show this undead the order is in charge. So you get inspiration.
Thank you.
and I'm not going to move. I'm not getting
Okay.
any closer to that thing. Thank you. So that's my turn.
All right. Flounce, you're up.
All right. So, hey, the bard said big bunny. So let's,
The bard said big bunny.
yeah, so I'm going to boogie over to here.
Mm-hmm.
Bonus action big bunny and hit him with my
Mhm.
glaive.
Do you want to be here?
Yeah, there.
Okay.
Because I have reach.
Mhm.
And first attack is a 22 to hit
Hits.
for. Come on, do my math. Roll 20.
No, 20, you can do it.
All right, there
Alright.
we go.
14.
14 to
Mhm.
hit. Or 14
Yep.
slashing damage
Uh-huh.
with giant smite.
Yep.
And second attack,
Mm.
17 to hit.
Also hits.
Okay, and without giant smite, I just am rolling 11s.
Mm-hmm.
So grand total 25
Wait. Oh, for the.
for both attacks. So it's just 11
Okay.
on the second one.
All right. All right. Yep.
And that's it.
All right. Now it's his turn.
Uh-huh.
And he's
Uh-huh.
gonna come up and try to life drain you. But he only gets a 12.
That does not work.
Yeah. So you are able to evade his life draining touch. Dianok.
Dianok is going to move a little forward,
Mhm.
or get in this corner because it's nice and
Mhm.
safe-ish, and psychic glance the.
Okay.
So intelligence save.
All right. Gets a 3.
That's a fail.
Uh-huh.
So 29 damage.
All right.
Ooh.
He is destroyed.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And so this hostile wraith with the blazing emerald eyes just says no,
Be gone.
and he fades away. And so as as he fades away, and what do you all immediately do?
I'm still on alert. There could very well easily be more of these kinds of
Mhm.
things around.
Yeah,
gonna-
this like a
Yeah.
little.
Yeah,
Yeah.
peering into these alcoves, see what's
Mhm.
there.
So as you are starting to look around, you realize that hiding in the shadows at the top of one of them is a creature that I will give you a handout for in just a moment.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Well.
Or maybe not.
Well, no. Yeah, you're probably right.
Oh
Oh
No.
So yes, you all should have a handout for Aboleth.
Oh,
Yes, so the what you hear just as you notice movement in the shadows there, Flounce, you all hear telepathically in your heads of saying, "Well, aren't you interesting? Tell me, all of you, why do you visit my humble abode?"
we seek knowledge that is thought to have been lost here.
Tell me what knowledge you seek. Perhaps I have it.
It's knowledge in physical form. A pair of books.
Ah. Books from the shipwreck.
Yes.
Tell me more about these books.
They're seen as historical knowledge that those above wish to have.
I'll tell it the titles that we're looking for.
Ah,
I don't have the notes handy.
It's
yes.
shoot. I know one's related to martial arts, one's related to magic.
So it would seem
The Black
to
Throne
me...
Arts and the Black Throne Arch and the Black Mist Way.
Black Mist.
yes. So it sounds as though these books would be quite valuable. I don't suppose you've come to make an offer.
We did not realize it had been taken by possession by one such as you. We thought they were here to be salvaged.
Well, I have salvaged them first, you might say. I am Yilch. I recently discovered this ruin, created by ancient Janyan stewards of knowledge. I was attracted by this aura of undead, still suffering from the legacy of the passage of vultures. And it has been my delight to send these menial, unquiet spirits on little missions. But
You sent them after us earlier?
Well,
That's what it
I
sounds like to
sent
me.
them after the spirits that have been more resistant to my charms and influence. But I must thank all of you a great deal for finally telling me how valuable these books are. I appreciate valuable and ancient knowledge, of course, but it will be a lot less valuable if others have it, so I am afraid that I must kill you all now. And we're rolling initiative.
Yeah,
Yay, we have a chance.
So,
We have a chance for
Enoch
better
was,
rolls.
Yeah.
when at the moment said each says kill you all now, Enoch would like to cast a spell if they could.
Well, no, we're rolling initiative. You don't get to...
Just making...
Yeah, so yes, I mean, I'm not having him in dialogue give you a surprise round against him.
Okay.
Right, that's better.
Yeah.
Ah,
It's not working. Oh.
Okay.
that the same roll? It was.
That is much better.
Yeah.
And I think,
once again,
in fact,
we have duplicates.
as he says, "Kill you all," you see phasing through the wall are 3 more flame skulls.
Oh,
Evie.
good God, no.
These buggers. And we don't have enough room, as much room to spread out this time.
No, this is the
No.
Rhyme of the Frostmaiden all over again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your dex, Xenophon?
+1, 12.
Okay, so yeah, I have the higher dex.
I kind of figured you would.
I don't have to change my roll in the turn order.
All right. Did we sort out Xenophon and Axel here?
Axel is higher. Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah. Let's see here.
All right. So, Axel, you do get to go first.
Already. And I'm sure it's been longer than 1 minute, correct?
I mean, from when you fought the other thing, yeah.
Yeah. Alrighty. So this thing is massive, and so we're just gonna have to break out the big guns. So yeah, again, bonus action form of dread, but I'm gonna go ahead and where is it? Also cast mirror image.
Okay.
You all see 3 duplicates of Exel appear out of him like swirling black smoke underwater, and they are now duplicates of him around.
All right.
Nice.
I'll use the. It's not a good. Here, I'll use this little thing.
Right. And that'll be my turn. Ooh, 11. Oh, it's not higher than my last one. So
All
yeah.
right.
All right, you good to go?
Great. Xenophon, you're up.
Okay. First of all, I'm going to inspire Kanthan. So we get that out of the way.
Okay.
Then Xenophon is going to cast Greater Invisibility on himself,
Nice.
Good choice.
and
Mm-hmm.
he's going to move to here. Let's get out of the way, and if nobody can see him, then they won't fireball him and everybody else. So that's the plan anyway.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
the
I
plan
can-
anyway.
That's the plan anyway. We'll see if it makes reality. Except, so that is my turn.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Fawn shouldn't have inspiration anymore because we had a new combat. So she shouldn't have a dot, but Kanthan should.
Okay.
Oh,
Well,
I'll
it lasts
remove the
10
dot.
minutes, right?
Oh, you're right. So she still has it. Oh, perfect.
Yeah, I was going to say it had
Okay.
been more than a minute, but not 10
Yeah.
minutes.
Okay, excellent.
All right. Kanthan.
Okay, I am going to move up to here. Anybody fireballing me is going to be fireballing the rest of these guys.
Hmm.
Including the Abeloth.
Well, it
Yeah,
might be that the
as-
flame skulls don't worry about that because they are immune to their own fire. But,
Yeah,
Right, but the aboleth at least.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I will use as bonus action use fighting spirit.
Mhm.
Give myself 10 temporary hit points, and I'm going to start whacking this aboleth with spirit cleaver.
Okay.
26 to hit,
26 hits, yeah.
10 damage.
Mhm.
28 to hit,
Hits.
15 damage.
All right.
23 to hit,
Okay.
14 damage. I'm going to use action surge.
All right.
Turn it into sushi.
13 to hit. That
That
probably didn't
misses.
hit.
You could use your
I'm saving the inspiration
saving-
for when I need to make saving throws.
yeah, that's
Oh.
that's
Yeah.
fair.
18
That's
hits.
more than fair.
Okay. 14 damage and a critical hit.
Nice.
Yeah.
A 14 plus 8 for 22 on that
Mm.
final hit.
Yeah, you've done a lot of damage just there.
Yeah.
You're now public enemy number 1 to it though.
Whack. Yeah, probably, but yeah, I am and like and And that final one was for one of those. I'm going to name one of those paints that we talked to earlier.
Derek and Violet.
Derek,
Yeah,
goodbye.
this one's
is
for Violet.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. That was Canthan's turn. Is now the Flame Skull's turn. But one thing that also happens on the Flame Skull's turn is that you see the spectral form of Violet the Haint emerge from the wall, and she seizes one of these Flame Skulls. Like, she is able to just grab it in a way that you couldn't because you're not a ghost. But she pulls it away, and she's clearly struggling with it.
Oh.
Okay.
Like, she seems to be like keeping that one occupied. But the other two are now both going to do their thing, and they're going to cast their fireball spells about right here. No, like right here, where it would be just everybody in the room here, including Exel, but not the Aboleth. So that is dexterity saving throws from everybody twice.
I don't think it would get Xenophon, would it?
If it's right here, 20.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep, you're right. You're right. Okay.
Natural 20 for the first one, and an 18 for the second.
Okay.
5 and a 16 for 5 on the first, 16 on the second.
Okay.
13 and 17.
Okay. Everyone track which ones you have in which order. You're looking to beat 14.
7 and 12.
Yep. I 18 and 18.
Okay.
So
What?
failed the first, succeeded the second.
Hang on. Sorry, I'm getting...
Luckily, we are underwater.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, so the first one, if you did not beat 14, then you're going to take 12 fire damage. If you did beat 14, you take 6. The second one, if you did not beat 14, you're going to take 13 fire damage. And if you did beat it, you would take 6.
Okay.
Not so bad.
That's right.
Is that for both of them?
No, I read both of them in sequence. So the first one, you take 12 if you didn't beat 14. And the second one, you take 13 if you didn't break 14.
Yeah.
Otherwise, 6 and 6.
Yeah, so it looks like you saved both times, so you take 6 and 6.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, thank you, temporary hit points.
What?
I do want to mention for Xenophon.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yes, I have to make two
yeah.
two
Saving
concentration
throws,
saves.
yeah.
All right,
For
here we
concentration. Yes, thank you, David.
21 and 18.
All
Okay.
right.
So I stay
Yep.
invisible for the
So,
moment.
Flounce, it is now your turn.
Okay. Let's see. Crispy Bunny is.
Bear in mind, there's a big throne right between you and the Aboleth. You can't just move straight through there.
Yeah, I know. I have to come down here.
Or
and
you
hit-
could stand on the throne.
Or swim
No,
above it?
it's too tall.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I'm going to come over here behind Canthan and whack at this this skull
All right.
a couple of times with my glaive. I'm using Big Bunny for a second time
Okay.
because it wears off after a minute.
Okay. Gotcha.
All right, so first is 12.
Unfortunately not.
Okay. Second is still a 12, so both of those are not good.
Mhm.
Okay. And that's my turn.
Okay. Yeah. So let's see. I think that. Gosh, what does he do? Oh, you know what? I also forgot that he can be taking legendary actions. Let's see. I think.
He can take one at the end of Flounce's turn and then.
Yeah,
take
I
his
think
turn.
so. He does. I think at the end of Flounce's turn, he lashes out with his tail at you, Canthan.
Okay.
But gets a critical miss. So never
Okay.
mind. But it is now his turn. And I think he looks over at Flounce and just says, I don't suppose I could persuade you to help me out. And he's going to cast, he's going to use an effect that you need to make a wisdom saving throw.
Hey. Thank God I still got inspiration.
Well,
The rules is written.
okay. Yeah. So
17.
rules.
I just recently learned that the rules is written. You have to just choose to use inspiration before you roll to get advantage, rather than see what the roll is and then spend it in order to get another roll.
That's not how bardic inspiration works.
Oh, that's not, no. Bardic inspiration works.
Yeah.
Regular inspiration. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So anyway, 17 saves. So don't worry about it.
Yeah. No, thank you.
Mhm.
I really like
No,
my
thank you.
friends. I don't want to attack my friends.
Yeah. Well, in that case, he's going to make another tail swipe against Canthan. And this time he gets a 24 to hit for 18 bludgeoning.
Okay.
Okay. Deanok's turn.
How about you get out of here and leave us alone and finish me?
Okay.
Charisma save.
All right. Okay. I mean, he got a. Let's see. Wait. Yeah, he got a 14, which I don't think saves.
That is a failure.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. So
He appears to poof.
okay. He's gone for a bit. Let's take care of these other guys.
Nice going, Dianok.
And that's my turn.
All right. That makes it Exel's turn.
Alrighty, that does change what I was gonna do, and thankfully, I don't have to worry about making you guys frightened. So it's Eldritch Blast, one for each of the green flame skulls. Although
You cannot see them all from where you are.
oh, okay. Let's. Oh man. Well, they can hit me regardless of where I'm at in this room. So.
You boogie down 15 feet and then you can
Yeah.
boogie back up 15 feet.
No, you
Yep.
the one is behind the throne from you. You can't see that one.
Oh, that's right, because it's a
Oh.
big throne. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I will
Just go after the other one. I got the one behind the throne.
yeah, I'll hit. Can I hit the other two without hitting the friendly spirit?
Yeah. Well, yes, fine. Just like
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, then I'll attack I'll do 2 for that one and 1 for the one in the front.
Okay.
There you go. There we go. Bink. Natural 20.
Okay.
Nice.
So that's I roll a second die, right?
Well, it's shown there on your
Yeah,
on your
it's
screen.
well,
there.
it
Oh, okay.
already added it, so it's 22.
Oh, nice. Second one. Oof, that is a
Yeah.
10.
That misses.
And the last one. 19
Okay.
for 10 points.
All right.
And they are immune to fright, so they don't
Yep.
have to worry about that. And that'll be my turn.
Okay, Xenophon.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to give inspiration to Axel because Axel doesn't have it at the moment.
Nice.
Could be useful. And I'm going to, well, we're underwater, so firebolt won't work for these things. So I'm going to go with the dance that brought me. I'm going to vicious mockery this skull Flaming skull underwater. You're all wet now. Sputter. Wisdom saving throw.
Mhm. Rolls with advantage. Gets a
Yeah.
15.
It fails.
Mhm.
So 10 psychic damage and disadvantage on its next attack.
All right.
Old school like the old school.
Okay. Kenthan.
Hey, I am going to activate um, fighting spirit again. Ting! And attack the skull behind the throne.
Mhm.
22 for 8 damage. 26 for 8 damage. A little lousy on those. And the last one's a 12.
All right. 12 misses.
And yeah, I'm gonna stay where I am. So that's my turn.
Okay. Well, the one behind the throne is actually mad at Xenophon, and it's going to send 2 fire rays your direction.
Are you still invisible, Zeohan?
I'm still invisible.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay. I guess it makes more sense that it would go after Kenthan then. All right. Gets a
The squishy
24
bard is
twice.
hidden for
So,
reasons.
Okay.
so it would be 7 fire damage and 12 fire damage, but instead it's going to be 3 and 6.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, those come off my temporary hit points.
Yeah. So the other one, so the one that Violet had been fighting is going to do its own fireball. And it's going to, so that's, yeah, it can still get everybody.
Man, I should have moved back. All right.
Okay.
So
Well,
we're looking for 14.
I
Made
failed
it
that.
18 that time.
I
Okay.
failed that one.
14.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's see. What? I don't think that was enough. I need inspiration.
So yeah, a nine is not enough. So if you got 14 or better, then you are taking. It would be 15, so it'll be 7. If you did not beat 14, what's your D10 there for?
That for the inspiration. Or
Did
can I
you-
not use it
Unfortunately,
on
that
those?
only makes 13. So
Did you have?
Yeah.
When did you get?
Xenophon gave it to me.
Last
Okay.
round.
Yeah.
All right.
Can you use lucky footwork in combination with inspiration
Think so, because there's
for
no.
an extra D4?
Yeah, I
Wow.
think so, because it
Well-
doesn't say it's an action. Let's see here.
It would have to be a reaction.
Mm-hmm.
You guys
And-
need to figure this stuff out. You're throwing a lot of stuff at me where as optional in the moment.
Yeah, it is a reaction. So yes.
Okay. No, you only have one reaction. You can't. Well, I guess the bardic inspiration is not a reaction, is it?
No.
So okay. All right. Well.
Oh, that's what I need.
Okay. Okay. So, geez, you guys, come on. All right.
But I failed my concentration save, so the bard is visible again.
Oh no.
What you got an 11? Why is that not enough?
Oh, I
Half
thought.
the damage.
Oh, it's half the damage. Oh,
Yeah.
never
Or
mind. I was thinking full damage. Like, oh no, thank you.
Okay.
You
So.
said 14 damage on the.
Yeah.
Okay. No. Okay. Everyone.
Yeah. Well, okay.
All right. If you beat 14, then you take 7 fire damage. If you
Right.
did not, then you take 15 fire damage.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. And now I need to make a concentration check
Okay.
on banishment.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
Oh, so if you lose concentration, he comes back.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God.
But I'm good.
Okay. Well, the third flame skull is going to try to fire ray you.
Okay.
So it gets a 23 to hit.
That hits.
Mm-hmm. So it would be 3 fire damage coming to you.
Okay.
The next one gets an 18 to hit.
Shield.
All right. So one more concentration check.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
9.
Okay. Unfortunately,
Ah,
he plops back in. Okay. And I think all of you in your heads just hear a telepathic, all right, so that was the Flame Skull's turn. So Flounce, it is your turn.
Okay. I'm still gonna do this flame skull. Just because it's right there and
Alright.
it's causing problems. So first attack is a 26 to hit for 19 damage.
Okay. That'll definitely hit, and it takes that damage.
And second one's 18 to hit
Okay, 18 hits.
for 11.
Okay, 11 is just what you needed. That one is destroyed.
Yay! One less skull.
And
Do
one
you need me to
less
move over and
fireball.
make room for you there, Flance?
Yes, please.
Okay. My
Well,
next turn, I'll do that.
yeah. So I think on, so I think Canthan, you're the one that's right there. It is just going to unleash 3 tentacle attacks on you.
Okay.
That's a 22 to hit.
That hits.
It's 12 bludgeoning damage, and I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
9. I am going to use Indomitable and roll it again.
All right.
14.
A 14 is just what you needed for that throw. Second tentacle attack is 28 to hit.
That hits.
For another 12 bludgeoning damage and another Constitution saving throw.
16.
That saves. And third tentacle attack is only an 18 to hit.
Still hits.
Okay, that's another 12 bludgeoning damage and a third Constitution saving throw.
Okay. And that's a 19.
All right, so you saved all 3 times. But
But
as
I'm
it's-
looking pretty beat up at this point.
Yeah,
Okay, you need a cleric, or at least you get a bard.
and I think it's going to go ahead and use a legendary action at the end of its turn to do a tail attack on you.
Okay.
25 to hit
Mm-hmm.
for 19 bludgeoning damage.
I'm still up.
All right.
Oof.
I think as it's doing that last attack, though, it is hissing at all of you of saying, "Let me leave, or you will regret it." Deanoch, your turn.
okay.
It's clearly behind all these hauntings at the surface.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Then leave. Another banishment.
Okay. Well, we'll
Let's
see.
do these spells.
Let's hope this one works. Fingers crossed.
Get to
Charisma?
10. Yeah, it does.
Whoop.
Mhm.
It's like, ah.
Okay.
Thank you, Deanoch.
I think you hear at the last little second in the telepathically, he's like, "That's not what I meant, and you know it." Okay, Exel.
Oh, well then. Then since it is gone and I've got a little time, I want to save this. You know, I'll save it and I will. Where can I move?
You can move towards.
There we go.
Yeah.
I'll move in front of Xenophon, and I will Eldritch Blast that one skull 3 times.
All right. Yeah, just go ahead and roll the attack and the damage for all 3. Just go ahead and roll them. Right. Okay. First
Oof,
one hits.
one
The
to-
second one does not. The second one also hits. That one is destroyed.
That's perfect.
And bonus action I need right now. So yeah, that's it.
All right. Xenophon.
All right. So I'm going to swim to here and let us give some necessary healing to our friend, the fighter. I think you need a bunch, don't you?
Yeah, I'm at 1 hit point.
Okay, so
Wow.
okay. Let us bring a big gun of healing to you. That 5th level.
Okay.
30 back.
Thank you.
And
That-
let's see. So you have inspiration still. Blance's inspiration. Axel used theirs. Axel, you are inspired again to go forth and do great deeds. So that's my penultimate one. So that's me.
All right.
Okay.
Canthan's turn.
On my turn, I'm going to use Second Wind.
Mm-hmm.
Heal 20 points.
Dang.
That's a bonus action. And then I'm going to use my healer feat and use a use of my healer's kit to give myself some more hit points. And where is it? It's the first time I've used it, so you know how these things go.
Mm-hmm.
It's 1d10, 1d6 plus 4 plus my number of hit dice, so it's 1d4 plus 1d6 plus 16.
Okay.
17 more.
It's plus
Oh,
your
hold
number
on.
of hit dice? That's a weird
Yeah,
way to do
that's how the feat works. Yeah.
Okay.
Um, yeah. As an action, you can spend 1 use of a healer's kit to tend to a creature, restore 1d6 plus 4 hit points, plus additional hit points equal to the creature's
it. No,
maximum. number
I
of hit
believe
dice.
you. We don't have
Yep.
to keep. It's okay. So your
Yep,
turn
yep.
is done.
Yes.
I'm saying it's a weird way to do it. I was not.
It is.
questioning
It
that
is. It's as far as I know,
Yeah.
it's the only rule that works that way.
All right. So it is the Flame Skull's turn, and I
Mhm.
think it is trying to get to where it can shoot its fire rays, but Violet is
Interfering with it.
keeping it from being able to aim properly. Flounce.
Okay, well, let's just get rid of this last flame skull.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Glaive attack number 1 is 17
Okay. Yeah.
for 13 points of damage.
Yeah.
And number 2 is a 23 to hit.
Yep.
For 13 points of damage.
It is destroyed.
Yay!
Yay!
Just in time.
Yes. Now everyone hold an action, and we'll melt it when it comes.
Yeah, and I'll say thank you, Violet.
Mhm. I think there's not enough time to have a real conversation yet. What are you doing? So you have less than a minute here. What are you all doing?
So
We're going to hold actions to attack it as soon as it appears.
Okay.
I'm gonna move out of its range.
Well,
and-
so figure out
yeah.
what that actually means in
Yep.
terms of where you're actually standing and
Yeah,
whether
okay,
you're going to
I'm
be able
moving
to
over
have
to
line
make
of sight,
room for-
etc.
I'm moving over to make room for Flounce. Dianok, you need to get out of the way too.
Yeah.
yeah. So then when it appears,
Maybe stand on top of the throne.
It's too big. She said, "Yeah." Christiana said it's too
You
big. So you'd
cannot
have to.
see over the throne to where it is.
Okay.
I'll just stand here and hold acid splash because,
Okay.
or actually, well, yeah.
hold Mind Sliver. No, hold Vicious Mockery. Stick with the thing I got.
Okay.
It's not wise.
All right. So if you're holding an attack action, I believe that's only one attack, not a full
Yes, it's
round.
not a full
Right.
round.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
But this, like an attack spell, I don't think you can hold an attack spell for multiple rounds.
No, this is like Dianoc's going to go 3, 2, 1, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
A cantrip is okay. Like for Eldritch Blast is okay
Mhm.
because you could. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
if you just lose it. You kind of just keep prepping it over and over, right?
Right.
But any spell that's not a cantrip, you're going to lose the slot if
Yeah.
if it doesn't happen
And it-
exactly when you're
and it-
expecting.
Yeah.
Thing to note: if it's not native to,
Yes,
do
I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now that you think that that's not the case here.
okay,
So it's going to come back.
okay, so, 3, 2, 1, release.
All right, so here's how this works. This Aboleth is smart enough to know that it can also hold an attack.
Haha.
And so we're going to resolve them in initiative order.
Okay.
So Exel, your held action was Eldritch Blast.
Yep.
All right.
17 for 13 points.
17 does just hit. Yep. 13 will
13.
miss.
Natural 20.
I think it has half. Well, natural 20 will hit. Yeah. So okay.
So yeah, so it'd be
Another 8 points there.
another 8 points. Yep.
All right.
And wisdom saves.
Okay. Gets a 19,
Pass.
an 18,
Pass.
and a 24.
Darn. Pass. All three pass.
All right, and then Xenophon.
Vicious Mockery.
Okay. Wisdom save, right?
Yep.
14.
Fails. 7 psychic and disadvantage on its next attack.
Okay. All right. And Canthan.
Oh, just 11.
Unfortunately, not going to hit.
3.
Yeah. Flounce.
Glaive attack
Uh-huh.
for that misses. No, 16.
16 misses, unfortunately. It's a very slimy, strange shaped thing, and you end up just slashing between two of its tentacles.
Non-Occludian.
Yeah. And so it is using its tentacle a tentacle attack, and let's see. Probably, I guess it's going against Flounce. Flounce is the bigger target. It was basically like whatever's in range is what it was thinking.
Yeah, that's fine.
And it's a critical miss.
All
right.
All right.
Okay.
Nice.
It does that and it just says, well, shit. Okay,
Yeah,
Dianoc.
we
Dianoc's
understand.
held action.
Dexterity save
Okay.
for it.
What are you doing?
Acid splash.
Acid
Oh, right.
splash.
Yeah. 15.
Fail. 6 damage.
All right. It's pretty beat up, but it's still around. So, technically speaking, we're going to say that was... I don't know. There's no way to really... We didn't track initiative through multiple rounds while you were planning. So, I mean...
Well, that would have happened on Dianoc's turn.
Yeah, I think that's the only way that
So-
makes any sense. So,
so it's
Axel, we're
Axel's.
back at the top of initiative. Axel, your turn.
How could we
Hey, like our bard, I'm gonna stick with what got me here. Eldritch Blast. It's such a good cantrip, though. 11, 27,
10 damage.
and 21 for 6. So
6.
that's
All right.
16 points and 2 wisdom saves.
It's still up.
My goodness.
10. 16.
So it is both failed. So it is afraid. So that means it has disadvantage on its attacks.
Mm.
To help you guys up front out. And that's my turn.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Xenophon.
All right, so I'm gonna look at it and say, you will not resist what I say. I'm going to use unsettling words on it. Use my last inspiration, so it has to. I'm going to roll a d10 and it must subtract that from its next saving throw.
Okay.
So subtracts 4 from its next saving throw. My next saving throw, which is going to be when I unleash dissonant whispers at it. So it needs to make a wisdom saving throw, please,
Okay.
at 3rd level.
Right.
And since it is
Yeah.
frightened, it has disadvantage on those checks.
I don't think it has disadvantage on
Not saving throws.
No.
But it fails
Oh,
anyway.
ability
It gets,
checks.
Yeah, it gets a 10, and it would have been a 6 with the unsettling words subtraction.
22 damage.
All right. You see as it just sort of thrashes around in place, and then you can see viscous black slime coming out of its eyes, and it just goes limp, floating in the.
You pissed off the bard. Whoops.
I'm going to just briefly say, though, this is something I might have observed before. This is a brief meta commentary on your party is too big for these encounters. Like, difficulty-wise, this is balanced, I think, for a 4-person party.
Probably.
And so I think there's a lot of these encounters that are not as difficult as they probably were written to be. But that's okay. You did a good job.
Yay!
Good job, everybody.
Yay.
Tactically smart, and you killed the aboleth.
The power of friendship saw us through.
Yes.
I think we've all been. I think also all of us have been playing D&D long enough to really have an idea of how to optimize.
Well, and sometimes it's just dice too. Like, again, I'm a fan of you guys. You did a great job. I'm proud of you for defeating this creature. But also sometimes it's cool when cool monsters get to do their cool things instead of their abilities just being nothing and not getting like, so not a single one of them actually getting to work and make the encounter interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Although to be fair, the last time a monster did something cool, it was an angel and it looked at you and it hurt your brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so just so you know, if Canthan had failed any of those saving throws, he would have been inflicted with a disease that would have made him burn with acid damage if he's not wetted down every 10 minets.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it would have required healing of level 6 or higher to fix.
Which that would have sucked a great deal, and that's why I spent my inspiration to pass that save.
Yeah, and Flounce, if you had failed the wisdom save earlier, he would have been able to control your actions.
Oh, wow.
Big
Yeah,
bunny goes
so
on
that's I'm
wild.
just saying, like, those are the things that are cool about aboleths, and just so you all know that how lucky you were
Yeah.
that all of those the dice made none of those actually mean anything.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I'm not mad. I'm just observing that I think in a lot of these cases, encounters, you guys are. So I think in the future, I'm going to go ahead and warn you right now. I'm going to start bumping up some of these encounters.
yeah.
Okay.
But in any case, once that all happens, Violet kind of nods to you and thanks, and then sort of drifts back through this door.
Wait, did we accidentally kill the other ghost?
No.
No.
Okay. Because it was what, Viola and David?
Derek.
Derek?
Derek.
Okay.
Well, I imagine I don't think. I imagine through that door is where the books are.
Hopefully.
So
Looks
Derek
like
is
that.
going to go and try and open the door.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, you know what? I'm going to just stand back just in case. Behind the big
The
button.
squishy bard
Yeah.
stays behind.
Yeah.
You are able to open the door without difficulty.
Okay.
Through there, the ceiling is covered with a mosaic of wide-eyed figures swimming through a sea teeming with life. Below, the walls are lined with strange, rusted weapons and the stone shelves of a library. And you see that in the room, you see both of the Haints now, Derek and Violet, and you see the two of them float forward, and Derek says, "Thank you for coming to recover the tomes. Violet and I have been guarding them for so long." And he guides you to a shadowy shelf, and you see sitting there 2 elegant tomes made from iron-bound pages of carved slate. And each of them, one bears the symbol, the 2 symbols you saw left behind from the previous haunting and you discover that you have located the Book of the Blackthorn's Aegis and the Book of the Black Mist. Black
I
Mist, one
wonder-
word.
I wonder if maybe we should ask these guardians about our about our.
Good question.
Yes.
Good idea.
Because
Yeah,
I wanted to talk to you guys about that.
Mhm.
There seems to be a lot of people wanting these books.
Or wanting to destroy these books.
Or why you destroy these
Or
books,
or yeah,
mix
or
them,
be-
or what
yeah,
have you.
Yeah. So we're gonna lay out the 3 people we know who want these books, or 4 actually.
Four. There's
Yeah.
four.
There are 4, yeah.
Four people.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and ask them what they think we should do with them.
We are historians of Janai. We would see these books returned to their proper place and allowed to have their wisdom protect the people of Janai once more.
And I think we should do that, though. Though I think making a copy of it for the underwater folks is entirely reasonable.
Yeah, I still think we want to do that.
We don't have a
So-
strong opinion about that. Just so long as they're eventually returned.
Yep.
So I will. These books are probably pretty heavy, even underwater.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you
will,
can manage them. Like they are
yeah.
heavy, but like not uncarryable.
Yeah.
Hey,
Between
Enoch
the
is
two
still
of
gonna
us.
suggest that
Mhm.
someone other than them do it. Carry it.
I'll carry one of them.
I'll carry
Um,
the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they as you agree to return them, they say, "We invite you to bow deeply to the throne in the other room to honor the ancestors who once sat upon it." And as they say that, you those of you in that throne room note that the throne begins shedding dim light.
Okay.
Enoch will go up
Yeah.
to it and
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep. We will. We
Conga line of bows.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, so everyone who bows to the throne will get a charm
Okay.
called Sea Soul Touched. And this is inspired by the teachings in the Black Mist Way and the Black Throne arts that ease the distinction between body and soul. This charm allows you to cast the gaseous form spell once as an action. Rather, you cast it as an action, and then you can do that 3 times.
gaseous form. That's not the movement one we had before.
No,
No.
that's
no,
Windwalk. Gaseous
That's
form is
Windwalk.
different.
Okay.
I will also remind you that there were the walls in the library are lined with strange rusted weapons.
We should take a look at those weapons.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
Enoch is absolutely gonna look at everything they have an opportunity to do
Yeah.
so.
I think by the time you all go and bow to the throne, and then when you come back, the Haints are gone.
Hopefully, they've gone to find a rest or their next cycle of existence. And
So
find peace there.
most of the weapons are either too rusted to be useful, or they're made for creatures with non-humanoid anatomies. However, there are 2 items that seem to be magical, inscribed with Janian symbols, and are and look like they would probably be usable. One of them looks like just the hilt of a sword, and then the other one is a staff.
Oh, Enoch will go if I have the time. We'll do identify on both of those.
Is everyone else hanging around for 20 minutes while that happens?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We,
All right. The hilt of a sword is a sunblade.
Ooh.
Closest D&D has to a lightsaber.
Holy
Yeah.
all right, Cathan, rock, paper, scissors.
You know something? You use a sword more than I do.
Okay.
Soul Cleaver is more than sufficient
Yeah.
for me.
Okay.
You're welcome to it.
Okay.
But
Wow.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
so basically, while holding the hilt, you must be attuned to it, but you can use a bonus action to cause a blade of pure radiance spring into existence or make it disappear again. It is a finesse weapon for the sword, for those purposes. It is a +2 longsword, otherwise. And usually longsword wouldn't be finesse, but this one is because it's made of light instead of iron. And it does radiant damage instead of slashing damage, extra damage against undead, and it also gives off light. And the light is sunlight for things where that matters.
It occurs to me that Dianok could also use it.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
so the staff is what's known as a Staff of Frost. It requires attunement by a druid, sorcerer, warlock, or wizard. You have resistance to cold damage while you have it, and it has 10 charges that you can use some or all of to cast spells such as Cone of Cold, Fog Cloud, Ice Storm, and Wall of Ice.
Yeah, Dianok's more interested in the sword.
I
just shared both of those with you.
I mean, I'm you might want to rock paper scissors with Dianok for that.
Yeah, we'll do that off stream.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm already. Oh wait.
Kiss the blade of Spirit Cleaver.
Am I the only one that can use it? The other staff?
The staff could be you or Dianok, or did someone else take a sorcerer level? Am I wrong? No.
I did.
Oh.
Okay, so a sorcerer could do
No,
it.
I didn't take a level. I took a magical speech.
Oh, well,
No.
you know what?
Okay.
I would allow that because it is attunement by a sorcerer. If you can cast sorcerer spells, I think that counts.
I can.
I mean, it would up your offensive capabilities a good deal.
It would, but so Axel, you don't want it?
I mean, I could use it, but I've already gotten a couple things.
Yeah, I've got a couple things mostly to defend myself. I don't have any offensive stuff.
Yeah, you're fine. I'm more of support anyway.
So
I mean,
am
it's
I,
not the
but
kind of thing you can use-
I'll take it. I'll
Yeah.
happily take it if nobody.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it falls to me, I can do more than just. I mean, I regret not taking Ray of Frost instead of Firebolt this whole session because Firebolt's been absolutely useless, whereas Ray of Frost would be awesome this.
Well, this is an interesting adventure because it also puts you up against a lot of flame skulls whose primary thing is fire damage. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's on purpose there because otherwise those encounters would have been much more difficult.
Like Rhyme of the Frostman.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Anyway, we are at our usual stopping time, so I think we will actually, as we imagine, the party is bickering over who gets magic items. Like, you take it. No, you take it.
Okay, I'll take it.
Yeah. We're going to leave them behind for the moment, and we will imagine that they will resolve the issue of returning the books and returning to the surface when we return for more adventure next time on So Many Levels.
So many.